Forest Grant Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 4 days.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Oh, ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
That ain't but one racerback.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Well, good morning. I hope today's a little bit easier than it was yesterday. Welcome into halftime on a Tuesday at 11:01. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston with you. I felt yesterday for the last hour of the show was kind of a very uncomfortable period, I think, for us on the air and just about anybody that was listening. About the last hour and a half, really, after the active shooter alert sent out by the University of Arkansas sent a whole lot of confusion all across the state, and there was confusion that was mirrored across the country at various college campuses. Matt Jones, good morning to you, and as well to Christian Johnston. The thing we can take away from what happened yesterday is it's a good thing that this was a hoax, hopefully the kind of thing that doesn't happen again, but if you hear of an active shooter anywhere, the best thing that can happen is for it to not to be true.
Happy Tuesday, Phil Elson. You hit the nail on the head. See how I didn't say the hay's in the barn? We're doing a different one today. Maybe we'll have a different one for each day, but you hit the nail on the head. The best thing to take out of it is nobody was injured. No, there was no fatalities. It was, what is it? The guy that cried wolf. I mean, it's one of those, maybe the first team responders, maybe they were on their toes too. Maybe they responded really well and everything went well as far as on their end. So it's a soft opening for everybody this week, it seems like, and even tragedy type stuff. And nobody was hurt. False alarm.
That's exactly what you're right, Matt. That was one of the themes to yesterday's show. It was a soft opening with the Jamboree football game in Alabama A&M on Saturday. Yeah, it's like a soft opening for security on campus. Nobody expected that it would be as soft as it was. You know, and there was something you hit on there about the idea of the boy who cried wolf. We had a few listeners yesterday that, that their reaction was to us not to say anything about it or to, bring it up for that last hour of the show as if, kind of wait and see what's going on kind of a thing instead of, one of the listeners said was overhyping it. And I don't think anybody was hyping or anything like that. It's just when there is a statement from a major organization's emergency arm, and many of those people who are inside that organization, being the university and anybody on campus, has people, they're all throughout the state, many of whom would be listening to this show. You have to go by that. And that's the thing that I hate about this, Matt, is that now that there's been this spate of what's called swattings all around the country, I think there were 4 or 5 of them just yesterday, not even at Arkansas, Colorado, Iowa State, Kansas State, University of New Hampshire, University of Northern Arizona. You know, the idea that we may have become desensitized to mass shootings in the last 25 or 30 years is a sad, I think, thing that unfortunately may be true, but what you don't ever want to be is to not pay attention to warnings because the boy who cried wolf scenario has happened too many times, and you don't believe the emergency that you're being told about because you have to treat it seriously. You don't have a choice. If you're somebody on campus, if you're a news organization, if you're a member of any of the police departments that responded to this situation yesterday, you can't have in the back of your mind that this is a hoax or could be a hoax. It's the same, I think, for us on over the public airwaves, where at that time, I think it's our responsibility to let people know exactly what we know. Maybe not exactly what happened in that case, because what we thought was happening wasn't exactly what happened. But you do have to know that there's an emergency. And anyway, I'm looking forward to talking sports today instead of some kind of a comment on society or run and hide or stay away from this area. It's it'd be good to get back to college football, college sports, something that makes so much sense these days too, Matt.
Yeah, I want to get back to what Arch Manning's 40 time is. Is he the best? Is he the fastest player in college athletics this year?
That would be the first thing. Let's get a hold of him. Let's get a one-on-one race with Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State. You think
or Caleb Downs? Either.
Yeah, you think he's the fastest guy at Ohio State?
I don't even think that Arch is in the top 10 on fastest people on the Texas football team. And that's not saying he's not a great quarterback and not going to set the world on fire, but if you're telling me a 4.6 guy is the fastest guy on your team, Texas is not winning the national championship.
Speaking of this Ohio State-Texas game, the thing we really want to get to in sports is whether or not Ohio State really has banned Dave Portnoy from the Horseshoe, not just for this game, but for any game. You know, Portnoy, who owns Barstool, is a Michigan graduate, and I mean anybody that's a Michigan fan or a Michigan graduate is going to, poke in at Ohio State any chance they get, and certainly they've had the leg up on Ohio State with 6 or 4 or 5 straight wins. I forget the number. But so now Portnoy's been hired, Matt, by Fox. He's going to be on this Big Noon Kickoff, just doing his thing. And, of course, Big Noon Kickoff at Fox is at the Texas-Ohio State game. Going to probably be at 3 or 4 other games in Columbus. They're there more than anywhere else. So the reports have come out this morning that Ohio State has banned Portnoy from the stadium and won't let him inside the stadium for any in-stadium segments that Big Noon Kickoff does. And now it seems like they're just trying to do damage control. Fox is saying, hold on a moment, it's not Ohio State. We're just not doing any in-stadium segments. So now there's this back and forth of, did they ban Portnoy or did they not ban Portnoy? And Matt, that's a heck of a lot more fun than talking about a potential shooter on campus anywhere.
Portnoy, he has, from going to the pizza guy to what he is now, to being banned, selling his company and then buying it back for a nickel.
For $1.
Golly, he's done something. He's figured something out.
He certainly has. And more than anything, I mean, I think the thing that he wants to be, that he likes to be, is a lightning rod. And that's exactly what this does. I mean, it just points out that he was a lightning rod for any kind of a football fan, but in the Big Ten. If this is true, and I can't imagine, really, is Ohio State University going to worry about somebody that's covering a game? I'm not going to say he covers the game. He's just there to entertain. Are they really going to worry about this?
Yeah, because they had a senator say that game always has to be. They're almost like A&M, Phil. Like everybody, we're going to get Fisherman Clay Henry on in a second for a couple hours, and I think we can. A&M's just, they're a little bit. Ohio State, they're a close running for just a little bit. Like I don't know if
soft.
They have to. You don't even know if they get invited to Thanksgiving. You have the regular table, then you have the kids' table. It's like y'all have to just go to Thanksgiving somewhere else, because A&M and Ohio State kind of have that. The thing about Ohio State is actually win. I don't know the last time A&M's won anything, but Ohio State actually wins championships. Goes like, okay.
This just reminds me a little of Texas and the horns down thing. Just being overly sensitive about something specific that. I mean, if it's a horns down in front of somebody's face, whatever. I mean, I get it. It'd be the same idea.
Be like a gator chomp or something. It's like, what are we doing?
Well, somebody that flips, a wide receiver makes a great catch, flips the bird of the cornerback right in front of his face. He's going to get a flag. It'd be the same idea as horns down. But doing it to the stands, doing it to the fans, whatever. I mean, come on, give me a break here. The idea that any college, anybody in sports would get banned from a stadium because they represent the other school or other team is mind-blowing. And how about the idea of the quarterback's brother and father getting into a fight that's nationally, well, not nationally televised, but certainly got publicized nationally? Wouldn't you rather not have them in the stadium? Maybe a little more embarrassing?
I think we should move every single game to Ireland. I'm going to go the other way. I think, last year with Christian C Unit's boy Pat McAfee doing his thing and just like amazingly, and then this right here. I mean, in the stands, father son really going at it. Like, come on, that only in Ireland. That's just the Ireland.
Never
Ireland
in
fresh
Manhattan,
air.
Kansas. Yeah, you're never in that mindset in Manhattan, Kansas. While we're moving, they're the point too in the NFL, Matt, where it looks like they may eventually have a Super Bowl in London, which I think is ridiculous. So why not just throw it over to Dublin, right? Forget London. Do the Super Bowl in Dublin. Let's have some real fun here with a stadium that seats, what do they seat there, 50,000 or something?
There's they say there's something in the water. I think there might be something in the Guinness out there.
Yeah, usually you think Guinness is so strong. No, there's actually not too much alcohol content in that.
Yeah, it's a Dirk Nowitzki. It's a 4.1, but
might jack it up for a Super Bowl though.
Well, I think Ireland they make it with potatoes, and it's a little stronger because they have their potatoes are better.
You telling me that the Guinness is different there than it is here?
We got to go. We got to go do a show over there.
Have to happen.
That's for sure.
I mean, when I learned potato vodka is better than the stuff that's made from the grain. You go with potatoes first and foremost, you're going to be just fine. Halftime on this Tuesday, obviously very wide-ranging segments over the 11 minutes that we'll be talking each segment, or a little more in some cases. And Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio, coming up at 1:15. Fisherman Clay Henry, as Matt alluded to, will join us at 12 noon for a couple of hours. And Alyssa Orange at the bottom of this hour. So wide open in the next segment for most of the show, too. Anytime you want to get with us, the Lewis Automotive Hotline, lock it in. 877-377-6963. Sam Pittman spoke to the media yesterday. We got some quotes from him and other things around the sport of football, both in terms of pro and college on halftime, right after this.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee. Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs. The Hogs are going to Omaha. Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Back to school means back on your feet, and True Grit Running Company has you covered. Whether you're a student, teacher, nurse, or retail warrior, our footwear keeps you moving in comfort and style. Shop top brands and discover new ones. Plus the best socks, insoles, and gear that'll keep you going strong all year long. This season, step into success at True Grit Running Company, where comfort meets grit. Located on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Run in today before the bell rings. True Grit Running Company, fueled by passion, built for you.
Right now, someone in a Hardee's kitchen is about to make you a morning person. Loading up our omelet biscuit with sausage, ham, and applewood smoked bacon stacked on a fluffy made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Or making a home-style loaded burrito. All that breakfast in a tortilla with crispy hash browns. Good morning, morning person, from Hardee's Country. Download the app and join my rewards for 20% off any breakfast purchase of $10 or more. Registration and minimum $10 purchase required. See app for terms.
All right, Hog fans, listen up. Y'all know Saturdays are about football, and if you're not in the stadium, we found the next best seat in the house. It's at Sofa City. They have this brand new top grain leather, zero gravity power reclining set. It's got power headsets, power lumbar. You can even add a heat and air massage. I'm not kidding. And that's not even the best part. It's got this surround sound you can adjust with the option to add a vibration level to feel every roar of the crowd as though you're sitting there right at the 50-yard line. And if you're looking for deals, Sofa City has recliners starting at just $298. Or you can upgrade your whole setup with a power reclining sofa for only $998. And you know how at most furniture stores you have to wait weeks or months for your furniture? Well, not at Sofa City. They have it in stock, so you can buy it today and enjoy it tonight with great financing options. So don't just watch the game, experience it. Head to Sofa City near you in Fort Smith, Russellville, Harrison, and Mountain Home. Or you can see more at sofacityusa.com.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
Whether you're building a single roof or a successful roofing business, roofing contractors like you need the right tools for the job. Software is no exception. Service Titan is on a mission to be the most powerful software platform for the trades, with purpose-built technology proven to maximize revenue, streamline operations, and deliver 5-star customer experiences. We are taking roofing companies like yours to the next level and beyond. Service Titan. We are built for this. See what we can do for roofers at servicetitan.com.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Nothing more sweet in this world than your love, your all time. I can tell you know I think that you're fine. Bet you know it. Bet you know it. Oh, bet you know it. Bet you know it. You know it's true. I can tell you all the time, way down in the sunshine, crack open a cold one, dance for me.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Back on Halftime here is we have Alyssa Orange coming up at 11:30, host of a brand new podcast, Varsity Vibe. We'll get into a little bit of that with her. We'll get into more of Arkansas football. Sam Pittman spoke yesterday to the media, and remember, Matt, we brought up yesterday in this Jamboree game against Alabama A&M, what is it that you want to see? What's top of mind? He was asked the same question. Here's his answer.
I want him to let it fly. I want him to be as confident in himself as we are. I want him to go out and run the team. That's the expectation. That's what he will do. I just want him to have great success running the offense, whatever Bobby asks him to do, and I know he will. I mean, I have a lot of confidence in him. I want him to go play worry-free and let it fly. And I think that's what he'll do.
Talking obviously about quarterback Taylon Green. Let it fly and develop something with your receivers pretty early here, I think, is what he's thinking about. I was looking at the depth chart for Arkansas, Matt, and I've got some thoughts on it that I'll bring up when we have Clay on about 3 things I like, 3 things I don't like when you're looking through this depth chart. But not everybody does a depth chart either. I was trying to look and see if Brad Spence has cracked through at Texas. They don't have a depth chart for their first game against Ohio State. What was the other school? Ole Miss on their game notes. No depth chart for Georgia State. But, Auburn released a depth chart. And thanks to Andrew Hutchinson pointing out here, you got 11 spots on defense, right? 11 spots on defense. They have 34 players apparently competing for starting roles on the Auburn defense because at every single position. Matt, every single position on the Auburn depth chart defense, from defensive tackle all the way through cornerback, they don't have a designated starter. So I wonder why even you put the depth chart out. Depth charts are kind of going away in some cases. Now I don't have an opinion of it one way or the other, because you'll figure out who's going to play. Coming into the first game, it can be a little bit difficult. But when I see, what's the number again, Hutch? 34 possible starters for 11 spots on defense, and I'm Auburn, and they already know they're going to play 3 quarterbacks. Yeah, just these little red flags looking at Auburn that makes me think, I don't know if Hugh Freeze will make it through this year.
You know, there's a lot of people that are fugazis. There's a lot of people that are tricksters, shysters, whatever you want to say. But how Hugh Freeze ended back up at Auburn and what he's doing right now, it's shades of Chad Morris and what he did to the Arkansas program. Like, I don't know if he knows what he's doing. Like, when the things that are coming out, and I get it, misinformation, or you say what everybody has their own way to do things. But whatever he's doing right now, it's like if you were to say, all right, tell me a team that will not make a bowl game, I'd say Auburn. Auburn would be not. I mean, Mississippi State's first on the list. I get it, but I mean teams that you think could make. Nobody thinks Mississippi State's make. People think Auburn's. No, they're not. No, they're not.
I think we've got Bill King later on in the show, and he was telling us he thought that Auburn's defense should be pretty good. It's just there's got to be some kind of a reason to this, because I would think by now they know who their starters are at least. Look at Arkansas's depth chart, and defensively there are 2 wars. That's it. One of them is safety between Miguel Mitchell and Caleb Wooden, and the other is defensive end on the other side from Quincy Rhodes, a battle with Justice Boone and with Philip Lee. So, and again, they could have put Orr on every one of them on the Arkansas depth chart, but they would have known who the starters are. Just when you see every position at Auburn, you wonder what they're doing there. And here's, speaking of defensive depth, here's Sam Pittman on defensive line depth.
I think everybody would like to have more depth everywhere, especially your bigs on both sides of the ball. The guys that we have out there, no, I believe they can play. But with Dave being out, that does, some of these younger guys are going to have to step up along with Blackstock. He's going to have to, we moved him there we don't need him on the depth chart. We need him in the game. And so, yes, there would be a concern there. Simply depth. I feel good about us with, obviously Cam, Ian, and Danny. But we'll see how Stock does. I think he'll do well. And then we've got to continue to develop these young guys until Dave's able to get back.
Usually when I hear that we're doing something for depth purposes, you're thinking, well, the only way this guy's going to play is if there are 2 injuries at that same position. That's not the situation with Blackstock. This is not a guy that's just going to get in for 5 to 10 plays, or maybe just on the goal line or short yardage situations, or if there's a couple of injuries. He's out there to play, and just learning the position on the fly too. That's just wild. And again, you want to look at a red flag for the Auburn depth chart. Well, right there, seeing last year's starting right tackle as your second string defensive tackle is a red flag for Arkansas. Maybe he's really good at this. We just don't know. And another thing that he'd hit on yesterday, Matt, and I wanted to hit on this with you, because you brought up the idea of how attitude and mindset can make such a difference between playing one position compared to another in football. Sam said they thought about moving Blackstock to tackle because of the way he plays the game. Listen to this quote.
He's done a good job over there now. He's only practiced 3 times over there, but we have this week to get him ready as well. And, very seldom do you take an offensive lineman and move him to D-line. No, I don't know if often the word, but a lot of times you move defensive lineman to offensive line. But we felt because of his demeanor and the way that he likes to play, that we thought that he could do a good job over there.
So what I'm hearing here is that they think this is somebody that's got a nasty streak, that can play the game angrily. Isn't that what you want from somebody at defensive tackle? When you hear Sam saying that, Matt, what are you hearing?
Well, you're hearing a guy that likes to compete, and that would be the first thing is, well, are you going to hang your head? Are you like, okay? Because I was like this. It's like, hey, we want you to play this position. Oh, you mean I get to play in the game? Yeah, well, let's go play that position. So I think that's his mindset. There's a lot of people that are like that aren't like Rafael Devers. It's like, hey, we want you to play here. Well, yes, I want to play. And so it sounds like he likes to compete. And that's the first thing that you look for in making a transition, because it's not going to be easy. You're going to have to learn. There's going to be bumps and bruises. You got to keep your confidence up. And, yeah, you want to be in the trenches, to be offensive, defensive line. If your mindset is not tough, then you can't play. I mean, all these guys are good. I know a lot of people give a lot of these kids hard times. These guys that are on scholarship playing SEC football, even if they're playing for Auburn, it doesn't matter where you're amazing. You're the best of the best if you're in the SEC on scholarship. So he's good. He's amazing. It's still going to be tough. It's still going to be a learning curve. A lot of times offensive linemen are not as athletic as defensive line. If you line up everybody on the team that's an offensive lineman and defensive line and had a relay race, 100 times out of 100, your D-line is going to beat your offensive lineman, because they have to be a little more athletic. So I'm interested to see, like, the visually. I know you brought up the eye test. We were like, hey, what do we want to see? You're like, hey, I just kind of want to see the eye test that we're better everywhere. Yeah, I want to see how he looks eye test-wise going forward.
Well, you can try to build a fence around your quarterback, keep him away from Keyshawn Blackstock this season, right? Yeah, you can always build a great fence thanks to the Fence Man, building custom one-of-a-kind fences for over 40 years. Residential, commercial, high security, even automatic gates. The Fence Man does it. 18-month financing available, too, at the Fence Man. You can get a free quote online at thefencemanAR.com or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man ain't afraid of no work. We break, and then we talk with host of Varsity Vibe podcast, Alyssa Orange, in just a moment. This is Halftime.
I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly.
This is Halftime.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit, is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
They say choice is the ultimate luxury, and now it's yours with Taco Bell's $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. Choose from the $5 Classic Box, loaded with lavish classics, the $7 Supreme Box, packed with decadent faves, or the $9 Discovery Box, now featuring the indulgent cheesy street chalupas. That's Lux. For less. The $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes, only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. They've custom designed the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips for your school. Go check out this and more at Roback.com, and don't forget to use our link for 20% off. Use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with Rush 25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
So you can focus on your home life outside of your career. Best way to get in contact with me is just give me a phone call or text at 479-461-4302. Sloan Electric. We can power up together.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
If you wanna, you got to take her out. Cocaine. If you wanna get down on the ground, cocaine. She don't lie, she don't lie, she don't lie. Cocaine. You wanna get that blues, cocaine. When the day is done and you wanna
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Right now on our Lewis Automotive Hotline is Alyssa Orange, the host of the Varsity Vibe podcast. I'm going to remember to program that into my brain, Alyssa. This is the second week in a row we're introducing you as this. How's it going today? Where are you?
Doing well, guys. It is a nice afternoon in Little Rock. Drove down to Little Rock, Brandon Marcello and myself to go check out Jimmy Johnson at the Touchdown Club. And, you know, after 12 years here, Phil, I've yet to be present at a Touchdown Club, and I think Baz was getting really offended, and so I told him that I would come since he brought Jimmy Johnson, and as a massive Dolphins fan, I am here.
Oh, that's right. He did coach the Dolphins. I'd forgotten. He did.
I know. People are like, Arkansas Cowboys. I'm like, no, but this one time, he was the Dolphins coach.
Yeah, he's pretty good there, too.
And that is why I'm here. Yes.
They did well with him as the head coach.
They
right?
did.
I don't remember too much about it, but
Yeah.
I remember he was all right.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all, and glory days per se.
That wasn't Chad Pennington and Ricky Williams, was it? Who was the quarterback
No,
when
I
Jimmy
don't.
was there?
I think was that end of Marino.
Was it? Okay.
Still,
He would
I
have
gotta
been there
look.
with
I gotta go
Marino.
back and I gotta look.
yeah.
It wasn't bad,
He was there with Marino.
It
He
wasn't bad.
even had a couple of
Mhm.
former Miami Hurricanes with him on his first
Yeah.
Dolphins team with Craig Erickson and Bernie Kosar, for crying out loud. That's right.
Yeah.
He was there at the end of the Marino era.
So
That's
he was
something you
there
wanna
when
bring up.
when Thunder Dan threw that interception against Jacksonville, and Jacksonville whooped them in the playoffs. Right, that was Dan Marino's
Okay,
last.
Matt. Okay. Okay.
I do
All
remember
right.
that.
Well, it's good to talk to you too, guys. I'll see you next week.
No, Alyssa, no.
We know how to get under Alyssa's skin. It's pretty easy. That's right. Well, I mean, everybody, obviously his time with the Cowboys is top of mind right now with this Netflix special.
Sure.
But anytime he's coming into Arkansas, I know, it's just, it's going to be, wait till you see what this is like too. It's been a while since I've been to the Touchdown Club, Alyssa, but I guess the last time I was there must have been 8 or 9 years ago, and it's grown since then. It's truly something to see.
Yeah.
You don't see this kind of organization across
No.
the country in cities like Little Rock or states like Arkansas.
Yeah, and I told you I drove down here with Brandon Marcello, and he was saying that this is one of the best in the country. And again, I've never been, so this is my first take. But just to kind of point out exactly how big today's event is, we are not where they usually hold this. We're at the convention center because they needed a bigger venue because of so many people wanting to come in hear from Jimmy. So that just kind of speaks volumes to what Baz has not only grown here at the Little Rock Touchdown Club, but how popular Jimmy Johnson is as their second guest of the season.
That's wild, yeah. So I see the latest episode of Varsity Vibe has Bentonville West head coach Brian Pratt and quarterback Trey Thompson just kind of getting in with individual teams on not quite a daily basis, but previewing a lot of the teams coming into the season. Is that what's been going on Varsity Vibe for the most part? And you also made a point last week. This isn't just about football. This is about all the sports that are taking place at that time in high school. We think football, basketball so much, but there's so much else going on.
There really is, and that's why it was important for me. For example, there was the 6A West golf tournament at Fayetteville Country Club yesterday, and so I have a friend of mine who I'd known prior to this, who is the golf coach for the girls team at Bentonville. So I just was like, hey, make sure to send me some of you guys' updates and the results so that I can give you guys a shout out, which is exactly what I did. And a friend of mine coaches the Fayetteville volleyball team. And so again, giving them a shout out when they started their season there yesterday too. So again, we want to make sure that we're highlighting and giving shout outs and telling stories of all the athletes. But football is king and everybody knows that. And right now with high school football starting on Friday, just getting to know all these teams and how they feel about their team heading into the season. And last week we kind of looked at the top 5 seniors that are people to keep an eye on. And, all of them are going to play football at a high level, a D1 level next season. And now it's kind of like, okay, talking to Bentonville West, talking to Heritage, which, again, Heritage 0-10 last season, actually on a 19-game losing streak. But what is, Coach Munoz over there excited about? The opportunity to kind of continue to turn things around. Springdale and the way that Springdale has been able to blossom again under Brett Hobbs and being able to just make sure that all the teams, specifically where we are in Northwest Arkansas in the 7A West, Farmington, Shiloh, looking ahead to what this season could look like. And that's been the focus this week before Friday. And then I also was able to sit down with a couple golfers and volleyball players, and I've got a lot more on the table too. So it's been really exciting to kind of delve into this again and talk about what's going on in the world of high school sports and also learn about these athletes and coaches that we're talking about too.
I saw Heritage scrimmage Poto last Thursday, Alyssa. It's going to be a long year for Heritage. Don't see them winning more than 3. That was one of the softest football teams I remember seeing. I told Phil, I said, you could tell Poto was some guys that were playing the dirt, and Heritage is some guys that people shop at, the Gap or Walmart. They were very They were very light. One of the things I want to know, Alyssa, is when you talk to these kids, these 5 kids or these kids that are going to play Division I football at a high level, what is their opinion of the Razorbacks? How come we're losing? Are they not getting? Are they not even getting looked at by the Hogs? But it seemed like 20 years ago, you had kids in the state of Arkansas that could play high level. Some of them were going to be Razorbacks. Now it doesn't. Nothing seems like it's a guarantee. Do they not? I mean, what is their opinion on the Arkansas Razorbacks?
Alyssa, real quick, just to cut in because somebody brought this up earlier. There are 5 Arkansas natives on the Razorback 2 deep. Do you think there should be more?
Yeah. And that's kind of the world that we live in, right? Just in general with college football and the transfer portal and where the coaches feel like they need needs and the talent in which they go and get them and where they get them from. But back to, your point, Matt, you look at two of the guys. One of them I didn't talk to in wide receiver Blair Irwin, the third at Bentonville, but I did talk to Daquan Prevost, who transferred up here from Texarkana to play his final senior season at Bentonville. He is also a wide receiver commit at Arkansas. And then you have Kendrick Williams, who's at Fayetteville, who is a linebacker, DB over there, and he is committed to Arkansas. But then we talked to Braxton Lindsey, and Braxton Lindsey is committed to BYU. Highly recruited linebacker. He was recruited by Arkansas, chose to go to BYU. Then you have Cody Taylor. Cody Taylor's going to Charlotte. And then Kane Archer, which we have talked about Kane Archer, I feel like, for years now since he was a freshman, now entering his senior season, and he is going to UCF. I asked him about that, and he had actually gotten a card in the mail from quarterback coach Mackenzie Milton, which it's crazy to think that Mackenzie Milton is a quarterback coach at UCF because I feel like he was just out of college. But that's the relationship that really made Kane commit to UCF and go play for the Knights and leave the state of Arkansas and go all the way to Florida because of the relationship that he built and the connection he had right off the bat with Mackenzie Milton. And he just felt like that was who he wanted to play for and who he wanted to grow under. And he's got an opportunity to play really early. And he made an emphasis on that. I got an opportunity to play early. And maybe that goes into the decision. Connections go into the decision. And a kid in Arkansas's backyard at Greenwood, where we have seen so much talent come from that program to play at the University of Arkansas, their quarterback right now is going to go play at UCF because of how he feels that fits his success and the career trajectory that he wants to go. And that's just the world we live in right now.
Mm-hmm. It is the world we live in, but it's also understood that a lot of those players may eventually make their way back to Arkansas if they're good enough,
right?
If they perform well where they are. Or
if they don't, Courtney Crutchfield come back. It's like, and he's what is he listed 8th on the depth chart? So maybe he still won't even play this year.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Yeah, and Marty. Well, I can't. His name on our text line is from the show Ozark, but he does say, "But is there that much talent here, or is the talent mostly playing basketball?" See, that's what we hit on last week with you.
Yep, yeah.
You have these. It's not that Arkansas does not produce great athletes, and I think per capita, this state probably produces great athletes on a higher level than a lot of other small states. It's just how many of them are playing football.
Or even some of our faster athletes that go to track. I think Wallace Spearman. I think of Tyson Gay. I think of Jordan Anthony. There's a lot of guys that are track guys.
Yeah, I think that's so interesting to look at and to dissect and to dig into. I think it's fascinating the shift there that I think has happened from the talent of basketball that the state has here in Arkansas compared to the talent of football, and how I think it's almost swapped. I think there's more basketball talent here in the state than there is football talent. I don't think that's unfortunate necessarily. That's just kind of the trend at the moment. But it also doesn't mean that there's not a lot of talent here in Arkansas for football. That's why Arkansas is not recruiting. No, you should still recruit the top talent in your state, regardless of what sport they play. I just think that basketball has started to really rise while football talent has declined. And I think that just shows from some recruiting numbers.
I got a text,
and there's not much that you can do.
Well, there's a text here from Andy that brings up an interesting point. Now, I'm not trying to put blame on anybody here, but he points to the emphasis on, or at least the influence from AAU basketball, which, I mean, I don't know if football necessarily has that kind of a thing where you have where you got showcases. I know there's showcase tournaments and all that kind of stuff in camps, but that's a difference between baseball, basketball, and football, where the travel teams, kind of. That's got an influence too, and I wonder, you're talking when you think of the word varsity, you think of high school, but I think what you're also covering more than anything is just youth sports, amateur youth sports, which encompasses AAU as well.
Yeah, it's just that's where the basketball circuit over the summer, we had one of our creatives who is been in the basketball world for a really long time, well connected in that world, spent 2 weeks in Ohio with an AAO girls basketball team. Two of those girls, Easton McCullough, who is probably going to be one of the best players, if not the best player in the state, one of the best in the country, plays at Farmington. Her mom is the coach at Farmington. Going to be highly recruited right in Arkansas's backyard. And she's got a whole bunch of other really talented players on her team. She's just a sophomore, I believe, at Farmington. that's just what the talent is. But he spent 2 weeks with them on this Ohio travel tour where they played all the best teams in the country and, you know, all of that stuff. And so like the travel is there, the notoriety is there, the attention is there. And another thing too, that when I was talking to Coach Munoz yesterday for Heritage, one of the things when he got here and he took over, knowing that this was going to be a little bit of a labor of love, there were no youth programs. He was like, we had to come here around Heritage. Like, there was just no developmental programs, which kind of sounds funny when kids, you're thinking about youth sports. But he was like, we didn't have any, you know? So, like, we had to start that. And, like, how do you expect football talent to develop at a young age and go through these ranks and continue to get better if there isn't any place for those kids to do that? And so he was making an emphasis on, like, we got here and we had to start some programs so that by the time these kids in our area are here at the high school level, they've been playing football from since they were 6 or 7. And it's the same thing with Coach Harbison at Rogers. He told me, he said, the biggest thing that I knew was that we needed to get better on a developmental level on the lower level tiers of our football program and the football tree. And now he's saying how Rogers has continued to progress in a successful way. It's because if we get these kids in our system at the junior high, middle school level, and they're learning and developing, then by the time they get to us, they're not only where we want them to be, but they're highly, highly recruited, potentially collegiate athletes. But that's that development rank, as you talk about basketball, that like football might still be behind a little bit in certain areas.
Yeah, I think you make a good point about that. And here's an interesting thing to think about. The same texter that brought up the idea of is that talent playing basketball puts this point across. I love this. Could you picture J.J. Andrews, top incoming recruit for next year's men's basketball team, Sean Andrews' son, if he'd have chosen football over basketball, 6'7". You picture this kid at tight end or defensive end, and obviously he's playing a sport that he loves, and maybe that's what it's about more than anything else. But his dad was an awfully good football player.
Yeah. No, he could. I mean, think about it. LeBron played basketball, but like LeBron has said, man, I could have been a football player, but I chose to play basketball.
I had a coach, Alyssa, that was at Jacksonville with me. He said they offered LeBron as a sophomore. They saw tape on him. You're exactly right. They offered him at USC to play. Because he only played his sophomore year out there. Sure. And the thing on his boy that went to the Lakers, that apparently he was an all-state type receiver too, but his dad wouldn't let him play. I think we're still a little bit of the concussion protocol, a little bit of the moms that if you have money, you're not going to let your kid. It's a way out. If you don't have money, you let your kid play, but it's so dangerous, football is, that if they don't have to, people hold back. They're like, hey, don't go play football because of all the brain injuries.
I mean, I wouldn't be lying if I'd have to have a serious conversation. Finn asked me about playing flag the other day, and I was like, yeah, we'll talk about it. And I love this sport.
You like, go play soccer, go play baseball, go play basketball.
My son
exactly.
He's tiny. He's a tiny little boy. Like, he'd be really fast, but he's small. And yeah, I think too, there's that first sense of like, oh my gosh, like that's like, yeah, we'll sign you up for rec softball and basketball and baseball. And, oh, you now want to play football. Hey, let's talk about that. And I don't think you have that hesitation with all the other sports. So I think you're right. I mean, I'm a mom, and that's the first thing that pops in my head.
I wasn't allowed to play football as a kid, and it really hasn't done much about keeping me intelligent, that's for sure. Alyssa, we got to run. I'll leave it there. Looking forward to having you on, of course, later next week, and we'll see you at the football game this week, okay?
All right, guys. Thank you.
That's Alyssa Orange, the host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, which you can download anywhere that you get your podcasts. And you can stay with us as halftime wraps up hour number 1 right after this.
You're bleeding, man. I ain't got time to bleed.
This is halftime.
Around here, we don't just know your name. We know your dad's favorite truck and your kid's baseball team. That's how it is when you've been in the same town for 90 years. At Hug Chevrolet GMC, we believe in handshakes, hometown service, and treating you like family. Because you're not just a customer, you're a neighbor. Hug Chevrolet GMC. The people, the place, the pride.
Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Busch Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, this is Pruitt Tollett with WT Equipment. When it's hay season, you need equipment that works as hard as you do. Vermeer Forge tools, from mowers to balers, are built tough to perform in the field and backed by support you can count on. At WT Equipment, we help you get the right Vermeer tools to keep them running strong. Come by and see us at our 8 locations or visit us online, WTEquip.com. Vermeer, because your hay doesn't wait.
Since 1992, the Inn at the Mill has welcomed guests to experience the most unique place to stay when visiting Northwest Arkansas. Centrally located at the Johnson exit off I-49, the Inn at the Mill has established a rich tradition of comfort, convenience, and value. Whether it's the big game, business travel, a trip to Crystal Bridges, or a weekend getaway that brings you to Northwest Arkansas, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious room with ample space to spread out. And when I'm there on business, I appreciate the fast, free internet to keep me connected to work and the laid-back European-style breakfast to start the day. Experience unique and different at the Inn at the Mill, just off I-49 at the Johnson exit. Call 479-443-1800 to make your reservation. That's 479-443-1800 or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
Have you had Cheerwine yet? The cherry flavored soda has had people coming back since 1917. This is RD with Platinum Distributing. We help bring Cheerwine to the River Valley for you to try. Nothing goes with food like Cheerwine. Burgers, barbecue, pizza, you name it. Okay, now we're hungry and thirsty. Cheerwine is a one-of-a-kind soft drink with a unique cherry taste that has been delighting Southerners for more than a century. Pick up Cheerwine at your local Jam Mart, Harps, and other fine establishments. Cheerwine, uniquely Southern since 1917.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. I stopped by Shangri-La Resort here in Mount Ida, Arkansas. My buddy Phil Carr got the hamburger steak. He convinced me on some apple pie. Phil, I know you guys have some family groups that even come from like Shreveport and other cities out of town. They need to think Shangri-La Resort.
Yes, definitely. We have a lot of groups that come in August. We have a lot of fishing groups float into August, into September, especially from up north, come in and fish for stripers. It's just a great time. That's my favorite time of the year. Shangri-La Resort in beautiful Mount Ida, Arkansas. A touch of paradise and a boatload of fun.
The Crane Automotive Team has 16 locations across Arkansas and is home to the Crane Commitment. You'll find Ford, Chevy, Buick, GMC, Hyundai, Kia, Volkswagen, and access to thousands of pre-owned vehicles. Vehicles for every lifestyle and every budget. Even if you're not in the market for a vehicle, the Crane Team service centers offer the latest in vehicle diagnostic technology and certified technicians to take care of your vehicle and get you back on the road. Check them out at craneteam.com. The Ruskin and Zach studios are driven by the Crane Automotive Team.
The only two things in life that make it worth living is guitars that tune good and firm feeling women. I don't need my name in the marquee lights. I got my song, got you with me tonight. Maybe it's time we got back to the basics of love. Let's go to Luke. Boy. This successful life we're living got us feeling like the Hatfields and McCoys. Between Hank pain songs, bluebirds train songs, and blue eyes crying in the rain. Out in Lukenbach, Texas, ain't nobody feeling no pain.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well, we ain't going to be feeling no pain Thursday at Walmart store 359 in Fayetteville on Mall Avenue for a live edition of Halftime. Matt and I will be there doing the show from a SportsCenter live desk. It's going to be amazing. The official ESPN experience will be at the Walmart in Fayetteville on Mall Avenue. this Thursday and Friday, and you can come out and meet me and Matt and even get some selfies at the Sports Center desk. Sit at the thing yourself if you've ever wanted to do that. I don't know if that means you get to do a highlight show, but that would be kind of cool. And Darren McFadden, Felix Jones, and Peyton Hillis will be there Thursday evening for a chance to meet the pros for the first 200 people in line. That's Thursday from 6 to 8 at the same Walmart store on Mall Avenue in Fayetteville to meet and greet Darren McFadden, Felix Jones, and Peyton Hillis. Man, that's a lot going on a Thursday at Walmart. Not your usual just stop by the store and grab a few things. Come out and see us. It's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. And then on Friday, Matt and I are doing halftime live at Rally House at Arena Village on MLK. That's also from 11 until 2. And D-Mac's going to be there, I think, at 1 o'clock. So just bringing in the legends, man. Matt, you, Felix Jones, Peyton Hillis, and Darren McFadden. That I'm not quite sure if there's a day that can encompass all of you guys in one place, but it should be it's going to be a memorable day, that's for certain. And looking forward to being next to you. I don't think you and I have done a live show next to each other for a while. Man, it's been probably since the end of baseball season, right?
Since before your Grand Canyon, in your Sherpa that you were out there with looking for Aaron Rodgers to say, hey, go get him this year. Let's bring back the glory days. See, Bruce Springsteen, you had it all going on out there in the canyon.
I saw Rodgers at the Grand Canyon. I tried to convince him he needs to get on the helicopter with me, get out of the canyon, and get to camp.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's get to it. It's your last year. Why are we not working? It's like, this last year, it'll write itself.
Some very important thing. It will be his last year. It's going to be the last. Was he going out like Elway? Is he going out like Manning?
Peyton?
No, no, he's not going out.
Did Brady win it his last year, or did he come back and lost it, and then that was it?
Second to last year.
Yeah. That's close enough, right?
I think they made the playoffs his last year.
And he won it 7 times. I mean, come on.
No, I think his career was basically just a failure because he didn't win it his last year, too.
That's it. Where you remembered what you're done last. Exactly right.
Halftime live, Walmart, Mall Avenue, Fayetteville, Thursday for the ESPN experience. And then at Rally House on MLK at Arena Village on Friday. We are getting out and about all season long. Meanwhile, the one and only Hall of Famer Clay Henry will join us for the remainder of the show starting at 12 noon. You can join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, 877-377-6963. Back in just a few minutes.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell.
Hey, it's Matt Jones. If the weather has raked your roof and you need a roofing company you can trust, call my friends at Patriot Brothers Roofing. They are licensed, bonded, insured, and lifetime River Valley residents located in Van Buren.
Thanks, Matt. We are also the only roofing company in the River Valley that installs a full CertainTeed integrity roof system and registers a 50-year warranty directly with CertainTeed. Avoid the door knockers and storm chasers. We are local and we will be here long after the storm chasers are gone.
Check out PatriotBrothersRoofing.com or call 479-652-9479.
Patriot Brothers Roofing, because your home deserves only the best.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Do you love cooking and being a part of a great team? Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and I was talking to Linda Newmeyer the other day. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, Newmeyer's Rib Room, and Newmeyer's Whippoorwill are hiring kitchen staff. Stop by any of the 3 restaurants in downtown Fort Smith. I used to work at a pizza place back in the day. Maybe I'd give it a shot. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the Whippoorwill, and Rib Room. Apply today and join the Newmeyer family.
You're hired. Come back tomorrow at noon for training.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be into the low 80s north. Chance of showers and a few thunderstorms south. Temperatures in the mid 70s. Everybody starts to dry out tonight. An overnight low in the mid to upper 50s and a few isolated showers on Wednesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grant Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 4 days.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Oh, ask me if I'm all right. Well, can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What they for one Razorback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
And welcome back to halftime. We are rolling along into hour number 2, 12:01 in the afternoon to be exact. Phil Elson, Matt Jones in studio, looking right across at a smile. Is he smiling? Christian Johnston, is he smile
He's
over
still
there?
glowing. You should see the shirt he's got on today. He's rocking it today.
Describe
he looks
describe your.
He looks pimp
On the beach.
Yeah.
Wow. Is it so? I'm picturing a Hawaiian shirt. A very large collar, maybe a boat drink with an
Maybe
umbrella.
you can see a couple hairs coming out of the top button.
Does he have a cigar? Is he smoking a cigar in studio
a
too?
monocle, capped up Panama Jack.
A fluff of chest hair just flowing up through the top button, which is really the
waving.
second to top button. Is
That's
the one
right.
Button.
That's right.
I can picture. He looks great. He sounds amazing. And we bring on Hall of Famer Clay Henry as well. Clay, we might have just made you throw open your mouth a little bit, describing what Christian may look like, but it's good to have you today.
This Christian is it multiple buttons undone?
No, just the one. Just
does he have like a Mr. T starter set around his neck?
He's close. He's working on it.
He's just got.
He could get an NIL deal with Nair.
He's got to go Flavor Flav starter set. He's not even close to getting ready for Mr.
Wind
T.
the clock up.
That's right.
Start me up.
Are you you ever done this before you go out? You figure, you know what? I gotta undo the top button just a little bit, just undo the. You go out and your friend's like, button that stuff up. We don't need to see all of it.
Or you could David Wells it and just unbutton the top 3 and just be like, yeah, I'm here.
You just never wanted to think that it looks like you've got your best friend in a headlock, and your best friend
goes
has
shirtless.
no hair on his head, but it's all in his chin. I think I'd do a show with somebody like that too. Not like I'd ever be able to put you in a headlock, Matt. I just don't think I could ever reach that.
I'm on your side, Phil. Like there's nothing to. Why are we doing all?
No, you'd be my tag team partner.
Yeah,
That's
I'm on
right,
your side, buddy.
Guys, when I started at the Tulsa World in 1978, you had to wear a tie to games.
Hey, guess what?
I convinced Bill Connors that we could wear golf shirts, and kind of, dress it down a little bit. And he says, but I want that top button. I mean, so we went that way for a couple of years, and finally I was like, can we unbutton the top button?
Well, now good. You don't even have to wear the tie, and you can still be dressed up.
Yeah, but it was a slow process to finally. And then one time I wore This is before your time, Matt, but they had suede Converse low tops. Red
That's some hot
suede
stuff.
Converse low top. I had a pair of red and a pair of blue, and I'd planned to like those to be, like business casual.
What, this didn't go along with a bright yellow leisure suit?
No, I didn't, the leisure suits were already gone. That was like 72, 3, 4. But 79, 8, 81, the leisure suits they'd gone to the Goodwill store by then. I had a lime green and a yellow leisure suits. I had two different colors.
There's real human beings that
Polyester.
used to wear these colors. It's amazing to think about. And I remember my grandfather broke out the leisure suit for something one night and was like, "What is Grandpa wearing?"
Oh, yeah.
The ugliest thing you've ever seen. By the way, guys,
Jack Ramsey's the first guy I think about wearing a leisure suit. Who's the first coach?
But his was plaid.
But who's the first coach you think about back then that was wearing Dr. Jack for the Portland Trailblazers? Who I think of.
And then I had some patent leather zip up boots that had 2.5-inch heels.
And
now I'm thinking of Prince and Bowie right now.
So that attire is perfect for when they crank up KC and the Sunshine Band.
This is the era of Elton John, wearing something completely different for every song that he performed at a concert. So
absolutely,
yeah, it's that's the man who was setting the tone for everybody. Yeah, go figure.
They have a sign of, and this isn't really that funny, but they have Dr. Jack Ramsey his photos up, and then it says coaches of the Trailblazers. And it says PJ Carlissimo, and then his picture is actually Latrell Sprewell.
No, that is funny.
Nowadays it would be you would have a photo of Latrell Sprewell on a Wikipedia entry of PJ Carlissimo's dad.
That's wrong. Whoever does the interweb, that one's wrong.
Hey, Matt, Christian, listeners all out there, Clay actually saw me on Saturday wearing a suit with a tie. That I actually tied. Clay, did it look like I've tied a tie before?
It looked like Julie had come over to help you.
I didn't get any help in this case. I stood in front of the mirror for about 5 minutes. It took 2 tries. Just
I still
2
can't
attempts.
do it.
All right, there's a 29-year-old who's one of our co-hosts here who does not know how to tie a tie properly. You just get him a clip on.
I'll show you.
We just get him a clip on. That's what
can't,
these are invented.
He can't tie a tie, and he wears Velcro shoes.
I was in Jacksonville, and we had I had to call my parents on the phone to be like, all right, how do I tie this tie again? And then now I know, but I was 22.
Well, that's kind of hard to do over the phone, isn't it?
It was a little tough, but we got it done. And then it was one of those, Clay, where you wear a suit, and then I just wouldn't untie it. And then the next week, if I had to wear a
put
suit,
it back on.
put it back on it.
Yeah. Well, there's another option, and I detest it. And it was suggested to me sometime, it wasn't my wife, that I get some clip-on bow ties. If you're going to have a bow tie, you should tie it.
Sometimes to me, it feels like it's easier to tie a bow tie than the regular necktie.
Bruce
It is, yeah.
Or what I need to go, and I mean, I'm not cowboy enough to do it. The bolo tie is the
Philip
easiest.
Rivers used to do the bolo.
Where we were at Saturday, it was quite educational for me. But the best part of it was when Phil's time to speak at the very end to kind of summarize the proceedings. He says, "Don't look at me."
I did. Because at that point.
But it was too late. It was too late. We were already looking at you.
At that point, everybody had already used up whatever tissues they had brought into the sanctuary.
Yeah.
And I'm the last person to get up and speak. And it's like, I told you guys about it on Friday, and I couldn't even get through the radio segment without choking up. So,
but you did great.
And I did. That was I was like, you could feel everybody's eyes, and I'm not used to that in radio.
Don't look at me.
Stop
Don't look
looking
at me.
at me for crying out loud.
Jean Ann leaned over.
Only if you don't look at me.
My wife leaned over and says, "It's too late."
It was way too
We've
late.
seen
But
you.
I powered through it, I thought.
You did.
It was a
Yeah,
great
everybody
event.
did great.
It was. I was more than anything just proud of the kids for the effort that they put into it for over a year and the nerves that I know they were feeling. And it just, I'm not going to say it didn't affect them because it's always going to, but they, for me, they'll know it they'll recognize that now. It's like I get nervous before every single broadcast, every single show, just because you're going over the airwaves. Why wouldn't you be nervous about it? But I welcome
No,
that
that's
now.
different.
I'm
That's
used to it now. It's like I want those kids to feel the same way because nerves are not a thing to be afraid of. Nerves are a thing to welcome, and I hope that that's a thing that's how they view it now. And the best thing about it is I just tried to mirror what my son was wearing, and since he's dressed by his mom, if I'm doing that, and when I was married to her, I got dressed. She told me what to wear basically for big events, so it can usually go the same way. It's just I'll go by what my son is wearing because she's going to tell him what to wear anyway. We got a couple of callers on hold. Let's go to the phones. The Lewis Automotive Hotline is 877-377-6963. Arky, the ESPN experience would call for a coat and tie, but it also calls for shorts and slippers on the bottom. Yeah, you can do the coat and tie up top, but with that desk, shorts and sandals on the bottom. And then the best dressed coach of all time is Tom Landry, of course. And if you're watching the Netflix special, you're reminded of that.
With the fedora, yeah.
Yep, nobody ever dressed quite like that. Here's Charlie, the tuna. Good afternoon, Charlie. What's going on?
And you already know the tuna is jumping right in. We're talking about swag. We're talking about
And when
nerds.
I think swag, I think Charlie the tuna.
I mean, come on, man. But look, I will say, people always think that, like, someone was asking me the other day, like, so what are you anyways, man? Are you a country boy or are you a city boy? Because I have this, like, swag where I go between the two. Like, Clay, I wonder how you guys are. Matt, you're just like you'll just throw on, like, a T-shirt and you're not, but, like, you're not, well, you won't throw on a cowboy hat, will you? You're not wearing that nowhere?
I've been wearing the same outfit since I've been about 17 years old. I haven't, about the same thing.
Now, wait a minute here, Charlie. You're from Camden, and I love Camden and the folks from Camden, but no, I don't think anybody from Camden's been confused with being a city boy before. Am I right?
Man, look, I'll tell you what, Camden is a lot of city, to be honest with you. There's a lot of country too, but I mean, you know, it's the southern part of the state, I get that, but Camden is, you know, it is. And look, it's because I also grew up, but listen, I'll give you guys a quick story. I went outside, I'd be playing basketball. There'd be 29 of my friends out there, and there'd be me. And guess who would be the only white guy? Me. And so those are my friends, though. Those are my brothers. And so, but I never felt out of place, Phil, because, you know, I knew I could play with them, and they were my boys. And so everybody always asked me, like, are you country? Are you city? I don't know. I just kind of go between the two. I can't never figure it out. But one thing I ain't going to do, the tuna, I just can't. I hate ties, Phil. Like, if I have to wear one, I'm like mad. I'm calling, Mom, I don't know how to put this on. I don't know how to tie this. City unit, don't feel bad, bro. I don't know how to tie one either. I just need, like, one of those little ones that just clip on, whatever. Just, I'm done.
Charlie, that's right. You've got an excuse. You're a fish. Fish are slippery. You can't tie one around its neck. It'll come right off. Sea unit's got no excuse.
So, Charlie, were you guys playing shirts and skins?
We actually did, but you're trying to be funny.
Here's the thing, too, Charlie.
But look,
you went the direction that the Recording Academy went a long time ago. For some reason, they thought if it's a song made by an African American, well, you got to use the word urban to describe it. That's yeah. African American does not mean city or urban. I don't know when we came to that.
Nah, you're right. But I will say the thing I mean is, like, my swag. Like, I'm not gonna dress. I'm not gonna wear a cowboy hat. Blah blah blah. But I think I'm gonna wear some Jordans. I wear Jordans. I wear Forces. But then the next day I might come out there with some, you know, boots. Or you said last week what'd you say? I like Sperry's, or I was a Sperry's guy, Phil. Is that what you said?
I might have been Matt might have said that. I don't know. I sort of pictured you as you know, a pair of Chacos, maybe. Something like that. I'm an UFOs guy now myself, Charlie, and I can thank JT for that. Most comfortable pair of sandals and slippers I've ever worn in my life. Man, that's good stuff too, Charlie. Yeah, Camden is a town of a little over 10,000. That's going to be country. That's going to be country. I appreciate hearing from Charlie today. Next up is Pinto. What's up, Pinto? How you doing today? Pinto, you there? He is not there. All right. You can call back, Pinto, if you want. 877-377-6963. Hey, we were just talking about clothes. Charlie is as stylish as it gets. Charlie could join me at some point at Walker Brothers in Fayetteville and Rogers, because true style is not accidental. It's intentional, refined, and unmistakable. I plan on stopping over there on Friday and checking out their collection. Not just Walker Brothers in Fayetteville and Rogers, but also Bowman's in Little Rock. Every jacket, shirt, and shoe is hand-selected for men who understand the power of a good impression. Big meetings, special occasions, make sure you arrive with quiet confidence and respected presence. You know what they always say, if you look good, you feel good, and if you feel good, you play good. Walker Brothers and Bowman's fine men's clothing, your life, your style, your store. And your show, Halftime, is back right after this break.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
This guy is dominating offensively. Indeed, he's also a quality guy. We had more fun talking with him. He was a walk-on. Now he's an All-American. He also is brilliant. He's a great student. Last week he got his MBA. The guy is just what top football is all about.
I've been called everything. Clark Kent, Kurt Rambis, Drew Carey, you name it, I've been called it.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Hey everyone, David Rath here with Rath Auto Resources. Our state sales tax paid offer was a big hit. Frankly, we've been too busy selling cars to come up with an inspired replacement. So in my stereotypical artistic procrastination, I just gave up and decided to extend the sale through Labor Day. Just bring in your old ride and get state sales tax paid when you trade, now through Labor Day weekend. Probably. Just another reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Get state sales tax paid when you trade, now through Labor Day at Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
Listen up, crappie anglers. When it comes to crappie fishing, there's only one Baby Shad. The original Baby Shad, crappie fishing's #1 selling bait. Featuring a sleek
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. They've custom designed the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips for your school. Go check out this and more at Roback.com, and don't forget to use our link for 20% off. Use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with Rush 25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well, guys, she is officially now off the market. It really did happen. Nobody expected that it actually would happen after all this time now, but it is going to be happening, and we don't know when. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are now engaged. And the headline that I see on this TV station's website is Taylor Swift is engaged, and Travis is just kind of an afterthought. Isn't that fun? You get to hear about why did they not do this after he scores the winning touchdown in a Super Bowl? We have to wait for a moment like that. That's kind of what I would expect from these two.
Yeah, he's supposed to say, "Will you marry me?" on the football and throw it up to her.
This has happened before, right? Didn't it happen in an Orange Bowl with a Boise State
Boise
player?
State guy after the Statue of Liberty. Yeah,
You gotta wait. You gotta like this should have been timed better. Should have been after a game, not before the season. But now everybody can celebrate. Right now, we can just make our wedding plans. This is probably the kind of thing that first of all, it'll take a year and a half to prepare, and it will be televised. It will be sponsored by General Mills cereal company, and it's a royal wedding basically. I mean, this is like Wayne Gretzky and Janet Jones, even more so than that. This is. You're gonna be sick of hearing about it.
Would it be
State Farm will insure it.
Would it be as big as I see it this way? Another '90s David Beckham and Victoria Beckham.
Oh, and Posh.
That's Posh Spice. Yeah, that's kind of how because he's at the end of his career and she's still gonna be in. The thing about music is it lasts longer than 7 years. You get to have.
They're still together too, aren't they? Who knows over there?
Yeah,
yes, they are.
They're
they
still
got
together.
kids.
All right, maybe. So I guess there can be happiness at the end of the celebrity
He's still
rainbow.
got a professional career. He owns the Miami.
Inter Miami.
Yeah.
And how's that going?
They got Messi, so they're better than everybody.
Oh, they
in
got
America.
they got Messi and
Luis Suarez,
the
And are we
biting
having
man,
Their Spice
Sergio
Girls,
Busquets,
their Spice Girls reunion
Jordi
anytime
Alba.
soon?
Jordi Alba.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, Matt. So you're bringing it.
Mm-hmm.
You guys know all this stuff, not like I do. 877-377-6963, the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Here's Michael in Harrison. Michael, what's up?
Hey, Phil. Hey, Matt. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Michael. Got Clay Henry, too.
Hey, Clay. Nice to have you there, brother. You're a fly fisherman. I'm a fly fisherman, so we've got something seriously in common.
Did we just
So,
become best friends?
You bet. You know Dwayne Hayter. I fish with him a lot.
Oh,
He
Dwayne's
got
my
me
man.
started. Oh, yeah, he's a dude. Just like Matt. Matt, I've got a question for you, just real quick. I know that it has a lot to do with what I really called about, but there's this picture out there with you crossing the end zone on Texas years ago, and you got the horns down. Is that photoshopped? Is that real?
That is a real picture. That was a real 6 points.
Dude,
Well, I think what he's asking was the...
He knows what he's asking.
You know what he's asking.
Matt knows.
that's awesome. I love that picture. But anyway, y'all, just a little bit ago, y'all were talking. I turned the radio on, got back in the truck, turned the radio on. Y'all were talking about the shirt unbutton thing. And
Yes.
before I got the whole context, I thought y'all were talking about the Georgia baseball team.
That's true. That's exactly what they did. I mean, they were 3 buttons
You know what I'm
down.
talking about? I'm just sick, man. It's just like gross.
Jerseys
What
flapping
is
in the
deal?
wind. Yeah.
Put your clothes on, guys. Play some
You weren't
ball,
seeing
you know what I
chest
mean?
hair. You were seeing navel lint, for crying out loud.
Yeah, absolutely. All the way down the navel. No hair. No chest hair on them. I mean, if you're going to do it, at least have a little chest hair, you know? Anyway,
Sponsored by
that's all I
Nair.
had. I enjoy y'all show so much. It's always fun to It's got to be up. There can't be a better show in the country. So, kudos to you, gentlemen, and Matt, you're always a dude, brother. Thank you for what you did for the U of A.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
Yes,
you,
sir.
Michael.
I'm listening. I'll get off here. Y'all have a good one.
Okay, thanks a lot. He said something about a fly fisherman that he's a dude. Is this can we do the same thing in fly fishermen that we do in college sports, where if you're a dude, that means you're one of the best?
He is one of the best.
Right, he must
Dwayne
have worked.
Hayda, he does the murals around the state. You'll be driving down Main Street somewhere, flipping Cotter, Mountain Home, and the side of a brick building, he'll do a mural. He does murals on houses. I think he just did one in the city of Flippin, right in Main Street, massive. And they are unbelievable. He did one on the side of the fly shop in Norfolk. He put in the dogs that are at the fly shop. He put in the worker. Everybody's on that mural except me.
Matt, how many times do you get asked a question about that very play that he just brought up?
That's Coach Nutt. It was funny a while back we were talking, and it's like, what do people still talk about when they ask? Ole Miss game, Kentucky game, LSU game, Texas game. Yes, that's one of the. There's 4, 5, 6 games.
Iconic.
They talk. That's something that they. Hey, and that was a touchdown on that play that pitcher was snapped on. That was 6 points, and we won that game.
That was a real touchdown. He really was crossing the goal line at that
and his
very
hand
moment.
was down in that sign. Yeah,
it was more of a 4, like a 4 horseman. But then we. Yeah.
It was about 110 that day.
Ooh, we were loose.
I think if you want the answer to the question that you really asked, you got to ask the whole question. Like, not just about is it real, but if the last part of that photo is real too. And I'll just let you ask it if you want to. Chip and Rogers is next with us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Chip, thanks for calling. What's up?
Hey, I got a question for you guys. Obviously, Sam Pittman doesn't dodge it. He knows he's in the hot seat this year. Given the difficulty of the non-con schedule, what's a successful season for Sam? What record does he have to have? Who does he have to beat to keep his job?
Anything 8 or above would be amazing. I think I'll just tell you the number. If we get to 8, I think it's a successful season.
I heard Brandon Marcello kind of tiptoe around that question, and he kind of jumped the gun a little bit by predicting that Arkansas was going to beat Notre Dame. If that happens, then nobody even worries about his job anymore because it's going to be a great season.
That means we're no worse than 4-1. I don't see us being. If we beat Notre Dame, then the only one we could lose to would be Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, yeah. But what you have to say, there's opportunities for losses, but there's so many opportunities for great victories, and there's, and I think when you've got a quarterback. And then he's spoken on this several times in the last week that they bought him an offensive line and they've got depth, enough depth that they can move a returning starter to the defensive tackle. And I don't think they would have moved Keyshawn Blackstock if they weren't really pleased with what was going on, both at right guard and right tackle, because he could play either one of those and be okay. But I think that what they've got working with the offensive line and the running back, I believe they're going to have a good season. Now, how that shakes out might depend on injuries.
Based on the schedule that you got, I think if you win 8 games, you look at that as an amazing.
There's going to be some good victories. If there's one or 2 of those 8 are going to be sweet.
Well, if you win 7, first of all, if you win 7. Then you have ended, well, I don't want to say ended, but you've done something that you haven't done very much, which is either beat A&M or Missouri. And for me, that's got to stand for something. Arkansas should be in a better position than both of those schools. Historically, they have been, except when these 2 schools have been in the SEC with Arkansas. So that to me would be a step forward. 6-6 even against the schedule. I know everybody hates hearing that, but it is the reality of the situation. And some of that will have to do with who you beat, how it went down, and also I think the way the season finishes, just based on those last 3 games, LSU, Texas, Missouri. It's like you can't be if somehow, and Matt, we brought this up, if somehow you're 6-3, on November the 2nd.
Second bye week.
You're like, wow, this is amazing. Well, look at who you finish with. You could very well lose the last 3, and who knows what it looks like at that point. I just don't know if, if 6-6, does that mean, well, you're spinning your wheels, right? It's where you were last year. But against this schedule, it's just there's so much to balance against it. And a lot of other people already have their minds made up anyway.
So, I keep hearing in that call, or just kind of intimated it, what's Sam thinking? Like he knows he's on the hot seat. He also knows that he's the head coach, and he gets to go out the way he wants to go out. In other words, he's got opportunity to be the coach next year. That's what he's focused on, not on what it's going to be like not to be the coach. And I think that's the way they do it. Pressure is only what you put on yourself. And I think he's made enough money. He's secure in what he's done. Really, over the last 10 years, he's made enough money that he's just focused on his team, his staff, and the day-to-day operations, the process. And I think that if you focus on the process, and I watched a lot of the Tour Championship this weekend, those guys, they're not focused on score. They're focused on routine and process. And that's what a head coach has to do in this situation. And I this is Sam's 6th year. He's not a kid. I think he's able to roll through the process, and he's comfortable with his coordinators and lets them do the bulk of the work.
Where I would also like to see a step forward in this year, and I don't know if this is the kind of thing that Hunter Yurachek or the Board of Trustees is thinking of when they're considering whether or not they want Sam to come back for another year. It's the record in games that could go either way. It's because sometimes to me those games have a lot to do with decision making, personnel in the field at certain moments, and so many of those games have gone towards the opponent that I'd like for this year. Obviously you want to see that you can compete with everybody in your league and that all the games are close, but I want to see more of those games go Arkansas's way than the way they have gone mostly in these last 5 years. And to me, after 5 years, that is indicative a little bit of decisions that the coach makes in close games. We've got Kevin in Fort Smith here on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Kevin, how are you?
Hey, good. Good afternoon, guys. I'd like Clay's input on this question as well, and there's 2 or 3 parts to it. I know we're going to have these 3, I guess they're calling them conference rivals, that are going to be on the schedule every year in football. Do the ADs from the schools have any input on that at all, or does the SEC just say we're deciding it and that's it? That's one question. And then secondly, how is that chosen? I mean, is that a TV? What are the best TV matchups, or is it traditional rivals? And then finally, who do you think our 3 are going to be?
Okay. Kevin, I really appreciate that question. It's a tremendous topic, but I want to hit on that topic after this next commercial break because I think it could take the entire next segment. You can also get with us on this topic or any other on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, 877-377-6963. Joe's Grill and Cantina today, the special Taco Tuesday, all day long, dine-in only. Crispy beef or chicken tacos are just $1. $2.95 for the pork carnita tacos, and then add another $1. $3.95 for pork belly or brisket tacos. That's dine-in only all day long at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Find them at 3400 South 74th in Fort Smith, right across from Harps. Online, joesfortsmith.com. We're back to talk about these potential 3 rivals for the Razorbacks on the future SEC schedule right after this.
Like baseball, movies, good clothes, fast cars, whiskey, and you.
This is Halftime.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
This is halftime.
All right, let's break someone's clavicle on 3. 1, 2, 3. Break someone's clavicle. Hit the field. Let's go. Move it, move it.
Need a new fence but not ready to pay all at once? The Fence Man, serving Fort Smith for over 40 years, offers 18-month financing so you can secure your home or office now and pay over time. Free quotes, custom designs, and the expertise to accomplish what most can't. Call 479-782-3936 or visit thefencemanAR.com. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
All right. It's a beautiful day for football here at the stadium, and we're just about ready for kickoff. Score 0-0. And suddenly, I'm in the mood for a Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar. Now that's a winning combo. Yeah, crisp, refreshing. That hits the spot. When it comes to great taste, Coke Zero Sugar's always on the scoreboard. Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar.
Artie's Original Bag is back, now with even more full-size sandwiches. Choose any two. The new spicy chicken sandwich, hot ham and cheese, hand-breaded chicken tender wrap, or charbroiled double cheeseburger. Mix and match any two, with fries and a drink, just $6.99. Why settle for junior burgers? Get big savings on full-size goodness in Hardee's country. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary. See app for terms.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050. COP CDL Academy.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird Real Estate Group has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
There was a doubleheader in August, and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Some people stay far away from the door if there's a chance of it opening up. They hear a voice in the hall outside and hope that it just passes by. Some people live with the fear of a touch and the anger of having been a fool. They will not listen to anyone, so nobody tells them a lie. Protecting yourself, thinking of somebody else, someone who hurt you, but I'm not above.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
So we had a caller bring up the idea of the three rivals. And I think this gets announced by December or maybe early December before the college football playoff. But we know SEC next year, 9 games. There'll be 3 annual opponents. I mean, you can call them rivals, but let's just call them annual opponents for now, and then you rotate amongst the next 6. Got Fisherman Clay Henry, Matt Jones as well. And, I mean, guys, do you see a world where it's not going to be Ole Miss, Texas, and Missouri? Because, you know, everybody texts in, it's going to be Oklahoma instead of Missouri. Just pay attention. Read the room. It is going to be Missouri. Basketball plays Missouri twice. Baseball plays them every year. Women's basketball plays them twice every year. You're going to play Missouri until the end of time in football. It's a matter of the other 2. Is it going to be Ole Miss and Texas? I can't imagine it's not.
Well, first of all, I like the way you couched that because I was afraid you were going to stick with that rivals term. And nobody in Birmingham can tell you who your rivals are.
Right.
And they aren't. They're going to be permanent opponents. And they can develop into rivals, but something meaningful has to happen for that to take place. Texas is the only one that is a permanent rival in my mind, and that's never going to change. Ole Miss is for certain, and I think rivalry fits in a regional way. But I live in North Arkansas. I live 45 minutes from the Missouri line in North Arkansas. I live in Norfolk. There is no one around here that talks about Missouri is a meaningful game. None. And it's 4 hours away. And the reason why is that there's not enough history there. And history means that my grandparents told me that Missouri is an important game. Well, they haven't. They're gone. But when they were alive, they didn't talk about Missouri. And I'm not sure that there are people in Arkansas that know Missouri is nicknamed Tigers. And because I've asked them, it's like Missouri now, where are they at? If someone asks where, okay, they might know that where it's Columbia, but where is that?
South Carolina.
Is it? No, it's halfway between St. Louis.
I'm agreeing with you. Yeah.
It's halfway between St. Louis and Kansas City. Well, where? What are the roads that go through there? Well, you go to Jeff City and you go just a little bit farther and you're at Columbia. It's kind of northwest of Lake of the Ozarks. Well, what is Lake of the Ozarks? So, I mean, you get my point. But it's they're going to be, by default, one of the 3 because they've got nowhere to put Missouri. They don't fit in the SEC. They're not an SEC school. They don't fit. But because it's the closest school to Fayetteville, that's what it's going to be. I mean, they're not even close to Kentucky. Ole Miss
get Mississippi State and LSU. So who's their other one? Who's Ole Miss's third one?
Yeah, see, I think they're probably going to be LSU. I think it's going to be Mississippi State. It's got to be Mississippi State, and then, but yeah, I mean, you raise an interesting point. But let's go. I can't tell you for sure who it's going to be, but it's probably Missouri, Texas, and then flip a coin on the other one. Probably Ole Miss. Makes sense for everyone in East Arkansas.
Guys, there was an article in The Athletic. One of our texters just brought it up, and I'd subscribe to The Athletic. It's worth it. And The Athletic asked, I guess they asked fans of each team. They just kind of put it out there to their subscribers. What 3 schools do you want as your opponents? And Texas, LSU, and Missouri were the top 3 for Arkansas. Ole Miss, A&M, and Oklahoma were the next 3. So, and it's not a scientific survey or anything, so I don't know if you can really glean something from it, but it does feel like a surprise that 39% of people that answered. My guess is some of these 39% of people aren't Razorback fans; they're just college football fans.
Yeah. So let's move. We don't have a definitive answer because we're not the ones that are going to pick this. It's going to be somebody and I think Greg Sankey and a couple other people in the SEC office will do this. They will ask chancellors and athletic directors, not football coach. Nobody asks a football coach who he wants to be, unless it might be Nick Saban at one point, because that's who is going to be asked in Tuscaloosa. I'm talking about the chancellor and athletic. They're going to do his bidding. But what we know is that everybody can't have the same right. Everybody can't have Texas. Everybody can't have LSU. Everybody can't have Georgia. So there are schools that want to hate and beat those schools that aren't going to get to play them on a regular basis just because there's not enough of those, several schools to go around. The fly in the ointment is that somebody's going to get Vanderbilt, and that will make it uneven. If Alabama gets Vanderbilt, well, that's not fair.
And I wonder how much we're reading it wrong. So what makes us think that any of this is permanent? I know the word is permanent opponents, but the way the college landscape's so fluid, in 6 years it's going to be all a different thing anyways.
Case in point, exactly, Matt. You're on to it. So when Arkansas came into the league, guess what happened? Their permanent opponents were Tennessee and South Carolina.
Not so permanent.
Yeah, it didn't last long, did it? But it made sense. But it didn't make any sense that Arkansas and South Carolina were permanent opponents. I mean, they're not regional. I mean, it was really tough for both fan bases.
I guess the Lou thing helped it out a little bit,
But that was later.
Yeah, it was later. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's not. It is not. They will ask the chancellor and the athletic director, "What are your wishes?" And they'll accommodate as they can. But at some point, everybody can't have their way. And it would make sense after 10 years you redraw it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. Hey, guys, we got Pinto on hold. Let's take his phone call going into the break. Pinto's on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. How you doing, Pinto?
I'm pretty good. Hey, Clay, those suede Converse, yeah, I had a pair of them in like
red I had red and blue, not red and blue. I had pair of red.
I had green, and went to a game in Little Rock because it's where I lived, and it rained the whole game. And you're there for 3 hours, 3.5. My feet were green for a week. That
you
green.
Had green ones. You had green.
Yeah, I went to Pulaski Heights Junior High, and the colors were green and gold.
I did too.
So that's
Pinto,
why
I had some green Chuck Taylors. They weren't suede, but I went to a green school as well, so I'm right there with you.
I went to a green school. My high school was green. Our baseball uniforms,
nice,
they were hunter green. I even remember the descriptor for the green.
I can't remember what game it was, but it just rained buckets, and I was basically standing in water, and for a week my feet stayed. You couldn't wash off the faded green onto my feet. All right, boys, later.
It was. I learned this lesson the hard way too. I guess Pinto hung up, but so I used to mow yards when I was in junior high and high school, because you really can't have a job when you're playing AAU basketball and you're doing stuff, so you can't. But I had my new shoes. I had to go mow the yards. I just grabbed my tennis shoes. That green, Clay, that does not come off once you mow the yard. Yeah.
It's grass stain. Yeah.
So I go out and do it barefoot now, which is very safe.
Hey, I've got a pair of shoes in the garage that they were kind of hiking shoes, but I never got into hiking. So they are retired and they're permanently mowing the grass shoes.
877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Hotline. Break in a moment. Want to ask you if your Razorback closet needs an upgrade. Well, the University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for at Roback.com. They have custom designed the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips for Arkansas Razorback fans. Check it out right now and more at Roback.com. Don't forget to use the link RUSH25 at checkout for 20% off your first order. RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with RUSH25 at checkout. It's Roback, where action meets comfort. Back to wrap up hour number 2 of halftime right after this.
But what I do have are a very particular set of skills.
This is halftime.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. How about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth consistently refreshing, and consistently light. You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Bred for the mud. Kawasaki Teryx KRX 1000 and Teryx KRX 41000 lifted edition side-by-sides come factory equipped to dominate wet and muddy conditions with ITP crypted mud tires, elevated dual snorkel air intakes, and Fox 2.5 LSC piggyback shocks. This edition is purpose-built for more mud-slinging good times. Now, weather doesn't stop the adventure. It inspires it.
Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
It's the all-you-can-eat breakfast buffet at Golden Corral. Enjoy the endless breakfast buffet with carved ham, tender pork chops, pancakes, French toast, made-to-order eggs and omelets, and, of course, the biscuits and gravy. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. And from 8 to 9:30, seniors get all this and a drink for $10.29. Golden Corral, 1801 South Waldron, Fort Smith. Order online at goldencorral.com for curbside pickup or delivery. Golden Corral, the only one for everyone. When electrical needs pop up, don't get left in the dark. Call the local team that's trusted on and off the field. Harrison Electric. That's who homeowners and local businesses choose. Harrison Electric. Honest, dependable, and they leave no mess behind. From quick fixes to major upgrades, Harrison Electric is your go-to for all your electrical projects. Don't sit on the sideline with electrical problems. Get back in the game with the pros you can count on. Harrison Electric. Honest, quick, trusted. 652-3077.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
You know, it's interesting looking at this athletic survey of SEC fans. I mean, it is not a scientific survey, but it is interesting to see some of the information that comes from it. The Arkansas and Texas fans both picked each other as the rival, and Texas is the only school where both sets of fans agree that this is a rivalry. And it's not scientific, but there you go. That speaks to something. And the Texas fans, along with the Tennessee and Alabama fans, are the only ones who are sure of all three teams that they want to play. Texas wants Oklahoma, A&M, and Arkansas. And Arkansas, and the Oklahoma, A&M, and Arkansas all want Texas. Tennessee and Alabama, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky, each of those schools chose Tennessee. And then with Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, and LSU, those fans all chose Alabama too. I mean, this is where rivalry starts to really, you understand what it means. We had a text from a listener, Pete in Tawnytown, that the rivalry is not taken seriously by Arkansas players, and Missouri players take it more seriously. And I just have such a problem believing that at the end of the season, you don't think that the last team that you play is meaningful to you. I think it's a fan thing because players,
absolutely.
Man, don't you just buy into anybody that you're playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage, Matt, no matter who it is?
Hey, I go back to what Frank Bruhl said. They remember in November, and a lot of times, Phil, that game, and you even brought this up. If we're 6-3 with our 3 games to go, there's such season-defining wins on what bowl game you're going to go to. Are you going to be SEC champions? Are you going to be in the playoff 12? Yeah, those games, they're all weighted the same. Don't get me wrong, but late in the year, depending on what your schedule is, man, those games mean a lot.
And good feelings about how you feel about your team, I think, has a lot to do with it. Not necessarily if you think that the fans or you view the guy on the other side of the line of scrimmage as a rival. Because truthfully, I think you got to view everybody on the other team the same way every single weekend. Now, I'm sure Ohio State and Michigan players don't view that. Alabama and Auburn, they don't view that.
And sometimes it doesn't matter. I'm sure when Arkansas State plays Arkansas, it's their Super Bowl. They're going to value that. It's going to mean a little bit more to Arkansas. Not that Arkansas is not going to come out there and be ready and want to whoop them, but I do think there's some of that.
I also don't think Missouri believes that Arkansas is their Super Bowl, but
I agree with you there. Yeah.
They've played a heck of a lot. How about this? Missouri's just been better. They've just been the better team and the better program since they joined the SEC. The records in that case speak for themselves, unfortunately. Hour number 3 on the way. 877-377-6963, the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Bill King in 20 minutes. Join us for the third hour after this.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be into the low 80s. North, chance of showers and a few thunderstorms south. Temperatures in the mid 70s. Everybody starts to dry out tonight. An overnight low in the mid to upper 50s and a few isolated showers on Wednesday. I'm Sally Russell with the forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 4 days.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that could respect it. Oh, ask me if I'm all right. Well, kids dominate, and we not doing it.
We're gonna go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What they even one race back?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
.101 in the PM, and welcome back on halftime. Listening on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. Phil Olsen, Hall of Famer Clay Henry, one and only Matt Jones, and the not quite fully buttoned on his shirt, Kristen Johnston, producing the show today. He's got one button and just a lot of chest hair coming out today.
Not related to the big unit.
Definitely not related to the big unit. He's not even quite half of the big unit's height, so I'm not quite sure if it would work out for them together there. We'll be doing some college football with Bill King coming up in the next segment. King and College Football Talk from WNSR and Nashville Sports Radio. So now's the time you want to get with us, or bottom of the hour, 877-377-6963. Guys, the Arkansas depth chart released yesterday. There's just some things that stood out from it. Now, first of all, they're still doing a depth chart. Not all the teams are. I looked up Texas in their game notes, no depth chart. Ole Miss, no depth chart. It was the only two I've pulled up. So, you know, with Michigan when Harbaugh was the coach, I don't know if they're doing with Sharon Moore or not. They didn't do a depth chart. So it's kind of going away a little bit, piece by piece. But the Hogs have one.
A lot of people, too, they'll do a depth chart for that very first one, and they'll send that in for the rest of the year.
Never change it.
Yeah.
Clay, did you see on the Auburn depth chart for their opener against Baylor, every defensive position has an or, and I think Andrew Hutchinson counted up 34 players on the depth chart for defense. None of them second string, by the way, apparently, just yet. So that stood out.
Somebody said that Auburn the SID was doing the depth chart, but Hugh was out playing golf and helping.
It's a good point. Do they have a director of golf for Auburn football? Or you just kind of get with the golf coach and go from there.
I think you got something there.
But here's some things that just to me stood out a little bit from looking at the depth chart here. On the offensive line, This is a more experienced offensive line. It's a group of guys that have played, for the most part, where they were previously. You had kind of forgotten last year's center, Addison Nichols, although he came from Tennessee, he never started a game for Tennessee.
He came as a guard, yeah.
Yeah, and now he's at SMU. So that's one thing I think to think about with this. 86 career FBS starts for the Arkansas offensive linemen that are on the two deep right now, and the guy who has started the most of these games is Fernando Carmona, who started 37 of them. Now I realize I left my glasses in the other room.
That's a
and it's
big time
difficult
number
to
right
see.
there, Phil. 37 starts in the trenches right there. That's a lot of work.
The only difference is that all of those starts would be at tackle, and this is going to be at guard.
That's okay.
Okay.
Guard's 1,000 times easier to play than tackle.
Caden Kittler has started his share of games at center, so this is a position that he's much more familiar with. And Corey Robinson has started 21 games. I think it's 24 now that I can actually see it a little better. It's the right side where you don't see as much starts. Marion Harris got plenty of playing time, but Shaq McCroy's never started, and Kobe Branham's only played in 5 games, 1 start. They're saying all the right things about Branham, so it feels like if what they're saying is true, this is going to be one of your main interior linemen for the next 3-4 years.
So when Branham showed up on campus, everybody said he's going to be a star. I mean, it's like kind of like I heard the same things about him in the first few days that he was on campus that I used to hear about Ricky Stromberg when he arrived. You know, it's like, first of all, he's nasty. And, you know, they said when he gets his hands on you, they don't ever turn loose. He can stop a man that's in front of you. Back to the Carmona thing, Matt. Interesting explanation from Sam about moving him from tackle to guard. They said that his aggressiveness and nastiness plays better at guard.
You can play
than
more
tackle.
forward. Yeah, well, in tackle, you're almost kind of catching and waiting and moving your feet and then pushing off like a sumo. But when you're at guard, it's more violent where you can attack a little.
There's nowhere for that guy in front of you to go. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's there for you to hit, and then he's going to hit you too. I mean, it's going to be physical aggression between the two of those, the defensive tackle and the guard. And if you try to do that at tackle, it's kind of like, you know, trying to hit Muhammad Ali. I mean, it's a swing and a miss because he's not there, and he's around you, and then he's hitting you from the other side. And those defensive ends are so athletic, so quick. You try to be too aggressive. I mean, you've got to kind of wait on them a little bit on pass plays. And so that aggressiveness plays against you, but it doesn't at guard. And I think I think it was pretty clear they convinced him that at the next level he was going to be a guard.
So 86 career FBS starts for Arkansas offensive linemen on this year's two deep for game 1. Last year the number was 59. So that's 27 more starts in FBS football on this year's offensive line compared to last year's at the same time. Now, here's one thing that I don't like from the two deep on the line. There are 4 freshmen on the two deep for Arkansas offensive line. 5 total games experience, and it's all Kobe Branham. So if there's an injury, now theoretically, if there's an injury to Corey Robinson, you can move Fernando Carmona to left tackle. He's played that position before and was okay. But do you really want to do that? Kavion Broussard is behind him. Robinson, he's a redshirt freshman who didn't get in a game last year for Ole Miss. Blake Cherry is behind Fernando Carmona. He's a true freshman, has never played. Cash Courtney is behind Caden Kittler. He's a true freshman, has never played a college game. So if there's an injury, and it even goes to the same at right tackle, where I think Marion Harris will be the starter. Shaq McCroy, who looks like he's got all the big body and everything, has never played before in a college football game. So there's just a lot of inexperience behind the experienced starters. And you got to hope that nobody gets hurt in that case.
Yeah, Harris would move to guard if something happened to Branham. And guess what? You got Blackstock. And it take him 30 seconds to switch sides.
You could put him back. That's a good point.
And then when Oki comes back, that might happen anyway.
I also see on the defensive line, there's 4 homegrown and 4 transfers, but there's only 13.5 sacks from the 8 players on the defensive line. 7.5 of them from Philip Lee at Troy, 3 of them from Cam Ball at Arkansas. So I do like the idea of transfers looking to blow up in the SEC and 4 homegrown guys that have some, I think, a lot to work with when you think of Quincy Rhodes and Charlie Collins and Giffrard. But you got to hope that they flash and somebody actually plays up to the potential in this case.
I think when we get to the end of the season, we'll look back and say the sack man wasn't at defensive end. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a linebacker. It's going to be, like a Drew Sanders. I mean, he didn't ever play as a down lineman at Arkansas, but he was their sack guy. I think Xavier Sorey will be that guy, and maybe one of the other linebackers. I think Larry Worth might have some sacks, even though you're thinking of him as being a secondary player. I mean, I think you're going to see. And if you look at that depth chart and you see a 4-man front, defensive lineman, 4 down lineman, that's kind of a pipe dream. Mm-hmm. I think you're going to see 3 down linemen and a jack linebacker, and it's going to be somebody that moves around from one side to the other.
Well, that's accentuating one of your strengths, too, because I know they like their safeties. I know they like their linebackers. You talk all this about lack of depth at defensive line, and so what you're talking about right here, Clay, makes a heck of a lot of sense.
Yeah, so the defensive front that is the dominant look of college football to play against the RPO is something that Kirby Smart and Nick Saban invented at Alabama years ago, and they got it from Bill Belichick. And it's a 3-4. And not all of those 4 are true linebackers. One of them probably is a safety. But it is not going to be and so I don't worry about the depth so much on the defensive fronts, because you're not going to rotate 4 and 4. You're going to rotate 3 and 3. So you have 6 down linemen, not 8, and you're too deep. And it's not because of lack of big bodies. That's just the way you have to play the RPO. If you play 4 down linemen against a good RPO team, they're going to have 700 yards in a blink of the eye. So it's everybody wants to see a depth chart with 4 down linemen, but it's really kind of a misnomer.
And then one other thing that stands out to me on the depth chart, because I picked 3 things I liked and 3 things I'm kind of wondering about. Wide receivers on this depth chart have had 12 games in the last 2 years with at least 100 yards receiving. Omega Blake did it 3 times last year. Cam Shanks twice last season. Raylan Sharp had 1 100-yard game last year, 6 the year before at Missouri State. So you get 3 wide receivers who have had some big games. Your running backs have had only 3 100-yard games in their career. It was Russell last year against Mississippi State, and then Mike Washington had 3 in his career, Bowling Green, Western Kentucky, and UTEP. So you do have a show that the wide receivers have had some big games. Your running backs, they haven't had to be used as a bell cow yet, and I don't think they're going to be in that sense. But they also haven't necessarily had the big game of over 100 yards too much.
All of this is to kind of go back to the guy that's pulling the trigger. And when I say that, I'm talking about Bobby Petrino. He has had 18 months to put together what he wants. And, some of them came last year, some of them came this year. But I like the pieces that he's put together. Now, we'll just see if he's had enough time to polish it, to get all the rough edges and to run, get all that option stuff that he runs. And you think, well, he doesn't run the triple option. Yeah, he does. It's all option routes. The tight ends, the receivers, the backs, it's all option. And then the last part of that is, and this doesn't have anything to do with the depth chart, but it has everything to do with the success of the team. Have they eliminated the turnovers from last year?
Mm-hmm. First and foremost, that's right. Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio coming up in the next segment. Want to remind you about Crabtree RV Center in Alma. You hear us talking about them every day. They're going to make sure you have the best RV purchasing experience that you can find anywhere, not just in the natural state, but anywhere. They've been doing it in the River Valley in Northwest Arkansas for 3/4 of a century and counting. They're going to help you find the right RV for the adventures you're telling them about, personalized financing, and on-site is a top-of-the-line parts and service department. At Crabtree RV, where I-40 and I-49 come together in Alma, and online at crabtreerv.com. Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio joining us right after this break on Halftime.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee.
I tell you what, I know this. Got a lot of guys with some big hearts. For 3 hours or however long, maybe 4 hours, we're the best team in the country today. And it's offense, defense, and special teams. It's some guys like Darren McFadden, baby. Y'all better put him in the Heisman. You better put him up there. I'm tired of him being number 4.
We got that wood right here, baby.
Somebody better look at this guy, the best football player in the country, and his name's not being mentioned. Lou Holtz, Mark May, number 5. You better look at him a little closer. He's a football player.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Looking for a roofing company you can trust? Meet 3 Ladies in a Roof. We're locally owned, certified, insured, and bonded roofing company. 3 Ladies in a Roof can handle everything from start to finish with honesty, quality, and integrity. A hard-working company that knows roofing. Go with the crew that gets it done right. 3 Ladies in a Roof stands behind their roof so you can stand under it. Call 501-658-3193. 3 Ladies in a Roof, helping you with all your roofing needs. Ready to serve the River Valley.
Have you had Cheerwine yet? The cherry flavored soda has had people coming back since 1917. This is RD with Platinum Distributing. We help bring Cheerwine to the River Valley for you to try. Nothing goes with food like Cheerwine. Burgers, barbecue, pizza, you name it. Okay, now we're hungry and thirsty. Cheerwine is a one-of-a-kind soft drink with a unique cherry taste that has been delighting Southerners for more than a century. Pick up Cheerwine at your local Jam Mart, Harps, and other fine establishments. Cheerwine, uniquely Southern since 1917.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible, overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text FORCE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text FORCE to 42424. That's FORCE to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey everyone, Josh Earnhardt here at AAA Business Systems in Northwest Arkansas. Do you like doing business with local companies? Did you know that AAA Business Systems is one of only a few truly local office technology providers in Northwest Arkansas? Ask your current technology provider where their corporate office is, and let's keep your money in Northwest Arkansas. Buy local, support local. Call us today at 479-442-4185, and remember, anything else is just a copy.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
table by the window with the view. Casting shadows, the sun was pushing through. Spoke a lot of words, I don't know if I spoke the truth.
Time with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend, Matt Jones.
We are efforting Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio, so we'll work on getting Bill on the show. He had texted earlier, so I think it's a matter of just grabbing his attention briefly. This pertains directly to the 9-game league schedule, guys, here. Alabama and West Virginia have canceled their home-and-home, which was supposed to be played in 2026 and 2027. And this is not going to require a buyout from Alabama. West Virginia just allowed them out of the series because of the 9 league games. So you knew this kind of thing would have to happen. Hogs have to make a decision. They got to get somebody off the schedule for next year. It won't be Utah. It's going to either be Tulsa or I forget what the other team is that they got on the schedule. I think we got Bill King here. C unit. Okay, still working on him. What are the games Arkansas may have to cancel for next year? Because it's next year really. I think is the only year that they've got the full schedule. So here it is. It's either Memphis or Tulsa. Yeah, it's either one of those schools going to have to cancel either one of those games. That's the only year that you've got too many games planned. But next year you're going to end up with 5 SEC home games, since you've got your game against Utah in Salt Lake City. So that's good. We just don't know who the teams are going to be. We'll find out. I guess early December is when this decision gets made. Guy wants to cancel Notre Dame. Well, a little too late to cancel Notre Dame for this year.
Well, when you go back to their place, we'd have to pay them. What would we have to pay them? $500,000?
Probably more than that.
Yeah, I don't think we're canceling. I don't think we're getting out of that one.
Yeah, that would. And truthfully, like I can appreciate the idea, Guy, why you'd say go ahead and cancel Notre Dame, but I don't want to do that. Selfishly, I want to go to Notre Dame. I want to see a football game in South Bend. I want to see what that's like. Yeah, and I love the thought of Arkansas playing Notre Dame. Really do, either here or there. Just love it. That's to me, that's the most exciting thing of the season. Happens in the very last game that you play in September, and you got a lot of football to play after that. All right, we got Bill King with us from Nashville Sports Radio. Bill, how you doing, man? Did you watch Iowa State, K-State last week?
I did. That was a sloppy, fun game. I thought the Waterloo was you're down 3 with 8.5 minutes to go in your 30, 4th and 1. It's a little early for that gamble, and to me, circle that area right there, and there's your ball game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, are you to expect a sloppy game when two teams are flying across an ocean for the first game of the year? Isn't that something that we just should come to an expectation of?
Well, yes, for sure, and couple that with the elements. It was wet. It was raining. Dylan Edwards, their star running back, seems like Kansas State's always got a little running back who's just dynamic. He's one of them. And he muffs that punt right out of the chute, guys, and then he's not right. He hurts his ankle. He didn't come back in the game. It was sloppy. Quarterbacks were very inaccurate in the first half. Just first game stuff. Veteran quarterbacks, too. These guys have played lots of miles, lots of minutes, lots of quarters. And it was fun, man. It was fun.
Hey, Bill, this Bama Florida State game, the closer we get to it, it's a lot more intriguing than I think when it came out. Everybody's Tennessee, Ohio State, Clemson, LSU, but Alabama he got his coordinator back. They don't have a running back playing quarterback now, so they're going to be able to do some of the things that Kalen wants to do. And then Gus Malzahn, kind of another shot, kind of a rebirth there. How intriguing is this game, and how do you see this Alabama-Florida State Week 1 matchup going?
Well, Ty Simpson, we all know, has been named at Alabama a couple of weeks ago. The quarterback at Florida State will be Tommy Castellanos. He is from Boston College. He's a Georgia kid, but played at Boston College. And he's one of those quarterbacks that fits Gus. Now, he runs really hot and cold. And a year ago, Coach O'Brien benched him, and that kind of ended it. But if he's running hot, he's a problem. As a matter of fact, that Florida State team from 2 years ago that was undefeated until they got to the Georgia Bowl game and got left out of the playoffs, he ran up and down the field on that team, and that was a really good high-ranked team. Anyways, that might be a good fit for them. I would say personnel-wise, though, maybe it's sluggish in the beginning, but Alabama should win, I would think, somewhat comfortably.
Bill, we were looking at the Auburn depth chart, and I think we saw 34 players on the defensive side, and they do not have anybody chosen as a starter. You never know if, depth chart shenanigans are red flag or if the coaching staff is just messing with anybody that's going to read this. But I think you've told us that you expect Auburn's defense to be a strength this year. I don't know how good they're going to be offensively, but you've said their defense ought to be pretty good.
It was a year ago. And it's going to be better this year. They're stout up front. They're athletic. Their linebackers are rangy. And if Jackson Arnold can play like we thought he could when he's being recruited, and, of course, that hadn't quite happened yet consistently, they've got, I think, the best receiving pair in the league. The Cam Coleman kid and then Singleton, who transferred from Georgia Tech, there's not a better twosome in the league. Now, they're not as good as Ohio State's twosome, but I think they're the best in the league. Running game's good. Offensive line's big and stout. Now, they may underachieve and make me look foolish, but they have personnel to win 8 games.
Bill, this Ohio State-Texas game, the more closer it gets, the more I'm thinking about it that, if they were in Austin, I think I'd have Texas. But the fact that they're in Columbus, I'm going Ohio State. What's the odds? What's the chances then? Either way, win or lose, both Ohio State and Texas are in the playoff 12 this year. Yes or no?
Oh, I think both are in, unless there's a collapse that I can't predict sitting here. And I think this game might get into the low 20s, and that's on a pointsy game for them. I think the defenses both have the advantage in this matchup. Texas, you could argue, has got the best defense in the country. Defensive line, deep, stout, linebacker. They got a first-team All-American basically on every level, whether it's Colin Simmons, the defensive end, Anthony Hill, linebacker. Offensive line, they should be okay, but it's a little bit of a question right now. And obviously you're trotting out Arch. We're going to get our first meaningful look at him. They started a couple of other games, but those weren't games where the opponent could fight back. This is going to be fun, guys. Julian Sayin, the true second-year kid, quarterback for Ohio State. He's got Mr. Smith, Jeremiah Smith, and then Carnell Tate, the other receiver, is probably wide receiver 1 in most any other school. They're losing those two tailbacks. Guys, I think this is a 50-50 game. We can't account for turnover sitting here, but that might be the difference. This could be a white knuckler to the end, I would hope.
The Battle of the Tigers, Clemson and LSU, that to me, that's the most intriguing. A lot of people have Klubnik as the best quarterback in the country. I don't. I do like Messenberger. What's his last name?
Phil? Nussmeier.
Yeah, Nussmeier. I like that dude. Yeah. That being said, if Clemson loses, I still think Clemson has an easier pathway to 10 wins and making it to the playoff 12. LSU goes again 0-1 there. How hot is that seat there for Brian Kelly?
If LSU loses the opener, that's 0 for the last 6 openers. 0 for 6. That's frustrating. Now, they owe him $50-something million if they fight him this year. It goes down about $8 million a year. I don't think there's any push, even if they went 8-4, which would be a horrible year for them. I still don't think people making the decision run him out of town. Now, the fan base which we know is very passionate, will absolutely come unglued. I think whatever honeymoon is left would be gone, long gone, and the fans would want a divorce, and they want one yesterday. I tell you what, Brian Kelly's a good coach, though. I don't know that I think they're going to compete to win the league, but they should be 9-3, and that puts you right there. Now, if you're on the outside looking in, you don't get in the 12. That's still a disappointment, but they're not going to run him out of town.
Hey, Bill, are you a cable subscriber? Do you do streamer? Do you Sling or YouTube TV? How do you watch college football? What's your thing?
This morning, 2 items to start off with. YouTube from satellite a couple of years ago, and I like it. I didn't like the news I saw the other day when they're at an impasse with Fox, and everybody's hitting me up. So what I'll do is if they don't come to an agreement, I'll go to Sling. You can buy a 1-day, 24-hour pass for like $4.99, which I'll pay whatever they ask, but that's nothing, right? Or I'll get Fubo, and I'll get a free trial. I'm not going to miss the Ohio State game. Also, guys, the Auburn-Baylor game is in jeopardy. That's on Fox from Friday night.
Yeah, you mean fans are going to be held hostage by this? But you said so for $5
the
you can watch.
knuckleheads that has the service that's not working. That's me.
That's interesting. It'd be $70 for the entire year. That's actually not a bad way to watch college football. Hey, did you see Alabama and West Virginia cancel their home and home? I know we'll see more of these now, and mostly over the next. But you see, like Missouri with this 9-game schedule. I think Missouri was scheduled out through 2031. So they got a lot of games they got to cancel. The Hogs only have to cancel one next year. I think Alabama's got a few they've got to cancel, but that's the thing that go. I love the 9-game SEC schedule. It's just you end up with maybe Alabama, West Virginia could have been fun, but we won't see them play.
Richie Rod will just be getting in rhythm. He'll have a stud quarterback. I think he may have one this year. Personnel's not going to be good enough, but that will be fun. You got to remember, in December of 2006, I'm doing my show from New York City, Sirius Radio, 30-something floors up. And while I'm sitting there doing the show in the morning, Rich Rod, according to reports, has taken the Alabama job. And I remember that whole morning fighting off all those rumors and everything. Anyways, long story short, one of the money men for West Virginia wrote a $20 million check and shut everybody up, and Rich Rod stayed. But there was a moment, and I don't know if they ever play, they'll talk about this, where it looked like Rich Rod was the next Crimson Tide coach. Now, the good thing happened was they doubled back, tripled back on Nick Saban and finally got him. But at that time, Nick had been telling him no.
Bill, save the date for your Fubo channel because I heard they're going to sponsor Travis Kelce's and Taylor Swift's wedding. So $4.99 would be a great deal to be able to stream. I know you'll be all in on that.
You know, if I have to get, I have to get that game. If they charge me $499, I'd have to buy it. I don't have a choice. What am I supposed to do? Hey, guys, I can tell you the rumors I heard Monday morning about the Texas and Ohio State game. That would not be good.
Hey, if we're doing power couples that are about to get married, it's not just Taylor and Travis Kelce. Watch out by the end of the football season after North Carolina raises the ACC championship trophy on the stage. Belichick will propose to Jordan Hudson. This is going to be amazing.
Well, that one, they play, hey, guys, the North Carolina standalone game Monday.
That's right. That's right. We'll actually get to see his days at TCU, right? They open up against TCU.
Yep.
That'll be a fun one.
Good chance to lose that game, too.
Yeah, that's Kendall Briles running the offense over there. We'll see if he can shut him down the way he was shutting down a lot of NFL offenses. Bill, we'll leave it there. Appreciate your time as always. Welcome back to the playing portion of the season.
Now, if I had Matt Jones at quarterback and there's 8.5 minutes to go and I'm on my 30 and I've got less than one, I run. But didn't work for Kansas State. How about that?
Not so much. That's right. Appreciate you, Bill. It's Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio. You can listen to him 6 to 9, Monday through Friday on WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio. And you can get with us on the home stretch here on Halftime on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, 877-377-6963. Also, check out Clay Maxey Auto Group to find out all that Clay Maxey Auto Group has on site at all of their locations there in Harrison, Mountain Home, Clinton, or Berryville. competitive, transparent pricing, reliable, consistent repairs from factory-trained technicians at Clay Maxey Auto Group. They'll always go beyond the sale, ensuring a seamless, enjoyable, and tailored experience that fits your vehicle needs. They ask for the opportunity to maximize your drive today. Home stretch of halftime right after this break.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
This is halftime.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the relief hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Picture this. It's lunchtime or dinner time, whatever. It's time to eat Taco Bell time. Time to choose which Lux Cravings box you'll get. Iconic staples for $5, abundance of faves for $7, or maybe something new. The lavish $9 Discovery box with crispy, cheesy street chalupas. And now it's time to indulge. Choose your $5, $7, or $9 Lux Cravings box today at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price of participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drug Store has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drug Store can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Looking for quality metal buildings and roofing? Metal Mart has you covered. From prefabricated metal buildings to custom trim, carports, and more, Metal Mart is your one-stop shop. Contractors and do-it-yourselfers are always welcome, and their experts will help you calculate the materials you need, all at a price you can afford. With locations in Fort Smith, Little Rock, and Jonesboro, or visit metalmarts.com. Metal Mart, the right material for the right price.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Come on. Love my good. She looking good. Come on. Come on. 5-1, baby. 1 in 5. No one here yet. out alive now. You get yours, baby, I'll get mine. Gonna make it, baby, if we try. You'll be old and you'll get stronger. May take a week and it may take longer. They got the guns, but we got the numbers. Gonna win, yeah, we're taking over.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Another 3-2. Fly ball driven. History marches on. For the first time ever, a catcher has hit 50 home runs in a season. It has never been done until right now.
It's a little bit misleading because Cal Raleigh has hit 40 home runs as a catcher and 10 as a designated hitter. I think 40 still would be the record if you're just counting by number of games you have caught. Salvador Perez hit 33 as a catcher, 15 as a DH in his record-setting 2021 season. Even Johnny Bench, when he hit 45 home runs in 1970 to set the mark for catchers, he hit 38 that year as a catcher, 7 at other positions. So the big dumper, and whether you're looking at total home runs or just the home runs he's hit as a catcher, is the all-time home run leader for a single season for a catcher. And I like the idea that he is the 51st player, or it's the 51st season for a major league player with 50 or more home runs. It's just the first time a catcher's ever done it, and the second time that a switch hitter has ever pulled this off. So this is unique to be the first catcher to ever pull it off, and only Mickey Mantle. Mickey Mantle is the only other switch hitter to ever hit 50 home runs in a season, and he's the greatest switch hitter of all time. So this is catchers are not supposed to lead the majors in home runs. It's too difficult a position. Way too difficult a position. But somehow this guy's pulling it off. It's amazing. This, to me, is like a running back leading the NFL in touchdown receptions. You know that he can do it. He certainly can break out of the backfield and catch a touchdown pass. It just wouldn't happen as often as it would happen for a tight end or a wide receiver. And that's how I feel about catchers hitting home runs. You know it can happen. Just doesn't happen very often. This guy's so much fun.
I don't know this for a fact, but I've talked to catchers that say July 1 your legs are gone. You're just going the last 2.5 months. You're just fighting to October.
I mean, there's just so much that goes into being a catcher. Even if you take
The
away
fatigue,
if you take away the physical fatigue, you are the conduit between the position players and the pitchers. You're the one who brings it all together. That makes you a psychiatrist or a psychologist for every pitcher, not just every pitcher that's on the starting staff, not just every pitcher that's in the bullpen. You got to feel the same way about all the guys that are on the 40-man roster. I mean, that's about 5 or 6 guys at AAA that you have to have a sense of what makes him tick. And then when somebody gets traded into your team and is expected to be the savior just before the deadline, well, you got to get to know that guy and what makes him tick too, because you can't speak to everybody exactly the same way. So for me, I would think it was just as tiring mentally as anything else. And then to have the wherewithal, just to have the physical wherewithal to hit a home run as a major league ball player anyway, sometimes lefty, sometimes righty. This is a standalone season, one of the most unique seasons in Major League history. To surpass players like Yogi, like Bench, Pudge Fisk, Pudge Rodriguez, and Salvador Perez is really shocking. And the other aspect too is he's the only real position player other than Aaron Judge and Eugenio Suarez who's hit more than 40 home runs. Ohtani and Schwarber have 45. They're DHs. Ohtani is back to pitching some, but I don't think Schwarber plays a position very much. All he's got to worry about is hitting. You realize how much easier it is when all you have to worry about is hitting? And even if you're just playing a position, now that you're playing that position, catcher, the most demanding physically, emotionally, and mentally on the field. This guy, Cal Raleigh, is having one of the greatest seasons in the history of baseball. And I got to root for a guy that's named the Big Dumper anyway, so it's just kind of cool to have that nickname. I just wonder how often he's actually referred to that on the Mariners telecasts. I don't think he can do that.
When I was 14, it was decided that I was going to be a catcher. I did that for a couple of years. And my dad took me up to Little Rock Country Club. I thought I was going to get to go hit golf balls. And Little Rock Country Club was a special place. And then he takes a turn. We didn't even go to the parking lot. We went down to the left. And all at once we pulled up in the driveway and rang a doorbell, and out popped Bill Dickey. And he taught me stance, grip, step, throw. And I shook his hand, and it was a mangled hand. I mean, the fingers went every direction, Phil. And that's all you need to know about catcher. If you play it long enough, the foul tips, to your, and he told me, he says, keep your meat hand behind you. And Johnny Bench was the first really to do that, I think. In other words, if there's not anybody on base, you keep your meat hand behind you.
They don't do that anymore. They don't do it anymore.
They don't, really?
No, because because it changes the body's ability to frame a pitch. So that hand is usually about 100% behind the hand, behind the back.
Yeah.
So it's
totally
he
said just protect it. Like there's going to be other things you do in life. You're going to need your right hand. You're not probably going to be a catcher for long.
Yeah.
But he said foul tips can just mangle your hand. And his knuckles, they were massive just because of the amount of foul. And he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, if you ever look at a catcher's hand, the hand that he catches with, and I saw this with guys at AA that even would come down from AAA, the left hand, you can see a difference. That left hand is bigger than the right hand, and it is swollen, essentially. It is now swollen until the end of time, just from routinely catch. And when I was doing AA baseball,
fastball right in.
You didn't have as many guys throwing 95 as you do now.
No,
not at all. I mean, Matt, I want to ask you, as somebody who caught a lot of passes in the NFL,
receivers are similar.
Yeah.
All the receivers, they're taped. You'll have whatever. I had a doctor. He goes, you'll have arthritis by the time you're 40. Your hands will feel like you're 70. Like it's just part of it.
Who did it hurt to catch a pass from? Or
Well,
maybe not hurt,
it's
but
not
you felt it the
necessarily
most.
like this, though. It's kind of like what you're talking about, a foul tip, because in football, it's not like basketball where if they rake across your hands, it's a foul. You're going to the free throw line.
Mm-hmm.
They hit your hands before the ball gets there, and then it's just there's nothing you can do. Like it's going to happen every single year. It's going to happen once or twice a year, and then you got to get one of them taped to something else, and you're trying to catch with 8 fingers instead of 10. It's part. But it's part of it. You don't really think about it. You just go do it.
It's funny. You think about the word interference.
They're landing on your hands when they hit you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you think of the word interference. They never miss a catcher's interference in baseball. Never miss a catcher's interference in baseball. How many times they miss a pass interference
all the
in
time?
football?
I was fouled on every one of those drops.
That's right. Every single one of them is missed. Yeah. All right. We got to come back in just a minute. We'll wrap up halftime. Stay with us.
What we do is if we need that extra push over the cliff, you know what we do?
Put it up to
11, exactly.
This is halftime.
The big Gelco Outdoor Summer Clearance Sale is going on now. Summer clothing by Ariat, Drake, Under Armour, Wrangler, and more. Men's and women's clothing now 50% off. Select Western boots by Ariat, Justin, R. Watson, Durango, and Twisted X, 50% off. Lazy Man box blinds for hunting season. Save hundreds of dollars off. Don't miss the 50% summer clearance sale. Gelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Football, fantasy drafts, new school supplies. It's my favorite time of year. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
They say choice is the ultimate luxury, and now it's yours with Taco Bell's $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. Choose from the $5 Classic Box, loaded with lavish classics, the $7 Supreme Box, packed with decadent faves, or the $9 Discovery Box, now featuring the indulgent cheesy street chalupas. That's Lux. For less. The $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes, only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. They've custom designed the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips for your school. Go check out this and more at Roback.com, and don't forget to use our link for 20% off. Use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with Rush 25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
'63.
La 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 la. New Amsterdam. This yellow-haired girl, Mr. Jones, strikes up a conversation with a black-haired Jamaica dance. You know she dances for his father plays. Thought she's sudden beautiful, and we all want something beautiful. Man, I wish I was beautiful. So
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend, Matt Jones.
It is final cut day in the NFL. And some tense moments, I think, in some NFL locker rooms today. I saw where Dan Skipper was cut by the Lions yesterday. The Bears cut Ricky Stromberg, Hudson Clark, Keytron Jackson let go by the Raiders. Titans let Matt Landers go. Kiwi Rose and Danico Slaughter still waiting on the Jaguars. Jaquindon Jackson was placed on waivers by Jacksonville yesterday. Eric Gregory still with the Bengals. We'll see if he makes the team as a free agent. McTelvin Agim got cut. Tyrone Broden was still with the Seahawks when I checked their roster this morning. Andrew Armstrong was let go by the Dolphins earlier today. So those are just some of the names that I had checked in on. Does it feel surprising Skipper's cut, or do you think maybe they're looking to re-sign him for early in the season? Because, I mean, he's kind of been a folk hero there and used to have 2 Razorbacks on the offensive line there. Now you got none.
They've cut him before and then re-signed him to the practice squad. So, I don't know. It's for those guys, it's all about health. Like suddenly, they can't move anymore, knees.
Mm-hmm.
Dan's had his time, so I think maybe it's run out.
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't talked to Ragnow after I wanted to talk to him. We've exchanged texts a little bit, and I had always wondered if he would come back, but I guess he's not.
Yeah, I mean that was like a month and a half ago, I think, wasn't it? Still feels somewhat fresh. Matt, what's this day like for in an NFL locker room? Last cut day.
So I've been a part of 5 camps. In that last one, they call you. I mean, it's one of those deals. They tell you it's kind of like Moneyball. It's real quick and direct and to the point. There's not a lot of fluff. It's just, hey, we wish you luck, but these are the guys we're going with, and everybody that plays this game, if you're a coach or a player, eventually your services are no longer needed.
Just saw where Ben DiNucci, and I don't remember who it was that cut him, but he had tweeted out a photo of a beer and an airport lounge and said, you haven't lived until you've had that cut by your 7th NFL team beer in the airport.
Armstrong will probably be on a practice squad somewhere. The rookies that were on there, you get 3 years, you get 2 to play 3 on practice squad. So there's still he'll get a little shot somewhere still. I believe.
But by the time we come here tomorrow, we'll know are there.
Or he can go make 6 figures and play in the CFL. I mean, for a guy like Armstrong, he make $140K to play CFL football, and it's more like college where it's less games, shorter days,
more room in the end zone too.
Exactly.
Sounds like a pretty decent deal.
All you got to do is kick the field goal past the you didn't even go through the uprights. You still get a point in the CFL.
So you're telling me that I can have 20 yards to try to score instead of just 10? Where do I sign up? Oh, it won't be as many people in the stands, though.
Matt, what's the salaries like in the CFL? Do you have any clue?
Well, if you're a quarterback, that's why I talk about KJ Jefferson sometime. Yes, I do, because I talked a little bit about going to the CFL. I'd kind of met with some of those people. Quarterbacks still make 7 figures, Clay. And if you're a skill guy, you're going to make north of $100K.
So Taylor Powell is still with Hamilton Tiger Cats. This is his 4th year. So he's not a starter, so I don't know if that makes.
Well, you're
a
making
difference.
half then. You're making $450K, so you're making a little. But if you're a starting quarterback in the CFL, you make 7 figures.
Well, guys, been a lot of fun. Clay, I know we've got Clay
tomorrow.
with us tomorrow. Yeah, we'll have also tomorrow.
Look forward to it.
Grant Hall at 11:15. And anything else you want to hit on? Ruskin and Zach coming up in just a few minutes. Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast ready to go. Download it anywhere you download your podcast. And for Matt Jones, Clay Henry, Christian Johnson, I'm Phil Elson. That's Halftime. Get up, get out, and get better.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out